What's the first thing women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with a SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
challenge is that women are having, Black women in particular, when it comes to becoming a wife?
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
There's not enough eligible Black males who fit the needs of Black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because Black women tend to want to marry Black men.
Right.
So Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
And it's also shown in research that women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a Black woman making $150,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a Black man on that same level or higher. If Black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
When the lady was talking, I was disgusted. If I was a man listening to her talk, as beautiful as she was, I would be absolutely disgusted by her attitude and her rationalizing, thinking that she flexing in that conversation. Black women, when we're in college, we're not focused on marriage. There was all the eligible Black men that was on the same trajectory as you, that was ambitious as you, that was focused as you, that came from the same cloth community, made the same life choices from secondary school to college. Those are the men, that is the pool of women, of men that women should have been focused on, right? So when it comes to making that choice and that life decision, now later on in life, when women are talking about there's no eligible Black men, first of all, I would say, where are you fishing, right? Because if you go fish in a pond looking for a sea bass or a halibut, you're not going to find a big fish of that caliber in a pond. So it comes to, I just came from homecoming, from my college homecoming this past week. That's why I have no voice. There's still men 20 years later making well over six figures, still looking for wives. You know why they haven't wifed a woman all of these years later? Because the women of their caliber are talking like the woman on that podcast just now. They're attracted to that woman. They may sleep with that woman, but that woman does not say wife. She does not say woman of valor. She literally is a woman that is focused on self, putting other men down. There are men out there, but they not looking at you. They're looking to sleep with you, but they not looking to put a ring on your finger. So my husband, Marcus, knows they have friends that are well-to-do in Chicago, in Louisiana, all over this country, that are in banking, that are in business, that are entrepreneurs, that are on their 10th, 15th business, that have tons of things going on for themselves. And guess what? You know what they do? They call me, man, tell Casey to find me a wife, man. Because women are gone mentally in the head. Social media has literally taken Black women off of our path and off of our pedestal of what we're supposed to be in life. If you have a man, like Law said, that has no debt, you may have a PhD, but this man makes six figures with no debt, and you're saying that he has to come with a business. Why? You have the business. Why are we trying to check and match boxes? Because a woman and a man are supposed to fit together. They're not supposed to be each other's equal. They're not supposed to be battling each other for who's going to be the top dog. And they also are not supposed to be matching like matching socks. They're supposed to fit. So if you have something and I don't have it, that's why I'm getting with you. So I'm getting it from you. So we have it in our toolbox. We don't have to match each other with the same thing. If you own houses, why the hell do I need to come with houses? How about we come together and you got the houses, now we have the houses. If you're in real estate, I've never been in real estate. If you have the PhD, like Law said, and like one of the other ladies said, if you're making 6 figures from being a plumber, why does he have to be a businessman? You like him for something else. Why does it matter what he's doing for a living if he's coming with X, Y, and Z, the heart, the leading aspect, the businessman? You just don't like the business that he's in. And that's what women do. That's what Black women do, is pick and choose because they want something, a facade of something, and they don't want something real. If we're going to be real, we have to keep this real. That woman, like I said, there's a lot of things that are pretty, but they're not necessarily pretty when it comes to the core. And if I was a man, I wouldn't even want to, it wouldn't even cross my mind that would be the mother of my kids, because she has so much negativity and vitriol in the way she's speaking. She thinks she's above a Black man. Well, if you think you're above a Black man, you also think you're also going to think you're above any other man as well. Like Kevin Samuel say, die alone and buy a dog.
Okay.
I don't think she was saying that you need to have a business guy. I think if you can bring money, however that is, if you have that ambition, whatever that is, I don't think it has to be a business person or make their own business. But if you're,
But Chanel, she brought up PhDs in education. You know how many friends that I know that have PhDs that are not making over 6 figures?
I know my best
So
friend has a PhD,
a
and she only makes
PhD doesn't
80,000.
even, that means a PhD, this is what people need to understand. Education makes you an expert in that particular field. That does not make you smarter or more intelligent than anybody standing next to you. That just means you went and got specified education in a particular subject matter that you have spent years and years upon years studying, like a doctor. A doctor doesn't mean a medical doctor doesn't mean just because they spent 12 years in school to become a neurosurgeon or whatever, that doesn't make them necessarily more intelligent than another person that may have just a bachelor's. That just means that they spent 12 years focusing on that specified line of education. That doesn't mean that they're well traveled. That doesn't mean that they were raised in a 2-parent household. That doesn't mean that their moral compass is in line with you. That doesn't mean that their values are in line with you. So we, like, social media makes it like, oh, if a Black woman is doing X, Y, and Z, that means she's above. Above what?
And we are live. So JR might be taking a shit.
So I guess I'm gonna get it started. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. Pretty damn good, man.
We have my man Trav Smooth. Welcome back.
Yo.
We have my man Luis Design, the architect. Calvin King. Not sure who that is. Welcome to King Talk. And there goes the host.
Hey, you guys couldn't hear me?
No.
You couldn't hear me?
See, we couldn't see you neither.
Oh, wow. Was it a box up there?
It was for a second and then it disappeared.
Oh, okay. Anyhow, man, let me go ahead and introduce you. I don't know if I heard you talking, Darwin, but we got Mr. Fred Smooth, Luis, Calvin King, Sweeney, Darwin, Kenny, Law, Viz, Hink, you myself. So, just something on my mic?
It was. It sounds like it's cool now.
Oh, okay. What's going on, man? Halloween coming up, so maybe y'all putting some spells or something over here. Y'all mess around with that potion. Anyhow, man, good to see you guys in attendance. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let me start from the top. The chat is active. We got Erica. We got Angela Swift. What's going on? How you doing? We also got Dale Matthew. Patrick Sergeant. What's going on? My first time seeing you. Smooth Kenny Green Gang. Mr. Parker is in the house as well. Who else we got? Trev is in the chat. He's making sure you guys are on your P's and Q's. Shout out to everybody, man. I can't get to all of y'all, but Rachel, my first time seeing you. David Pearson, what's going on? How you doing? Let's do it. That just popped in. That's Kenny P. BZ. We got D Money. Clean is in the house as well. Casey. What's going on, Casey? Looking smooth, looking slick there, right there, Casey. Shout out to you. She's also watching. She was the lady that you seen on the video that was speaking. Some of you guys may agree. Some of y'all may not. What's going on? Ali is in the house as well. Full house today, man. Good to see you. Sweeney chat per usual. You guys seen the topic, how Black women end up dating the worst type of men. Calvin, you there? Not on camera. I don't know if you can see us. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll make sure we try to get that in order. I'm going to check real quick before we get the show started to make sure he's active and can participate in this conversation. I struggle stream. What's going on, Calvin? How you doing?
What down? What's up, fellas?
Yes,
What it do?
All right. So the topic is how Black women end up dating the worst type of men. We're going to go ahead and kick it off with this question. What qualities make a man the worst type in a relationship? What qualities make a man the worst type in a relationship? I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Luis. Go ahead and open it up for us, brother.
The worst qualities a man could possess in a relationship. I think for starters, being inconsistent, irresponsible. I think a man that doesn't stand on his business, right? I think those are very poor character traits. I think also one telling is that not following through, holding himself accountable, right? And also speaking up when the opportunity presents itself and not being able to kind of hold things up. Unfortunately, some things need to be addressed at the time and not let to be floated forward. So those are just a few. I'm sure the brother's going to highlight some more.
All right. I'm going to go to you, Trev Smooth. What qualities make a man the worst type in a relationship?
A man that fails to lead, a man that's careless. Those are not only bad qualities, but dangerous qualities. If a man does not know how to lead, you will be going in the wrong direction for the rest of your life. You, your wife, your household, your children, everything. If he doesn't care, if he's not concerned about consequences, then you're also in great danger. And unfortunately, this is what a lot of women look over. Those are some of the most dangerous characteristics to have. You should have someone with morals, someone who does not lack integrity, and I definitely like the word Luis used, consistent. And these are some of the warning signs that you have to look for when you're vetting in the beginning of a relationship, because if you don't, you're going to end up in a miserable life. But if I had to say one that was the most important to me, I would say a man who knows how to lead, because it's going to determine your future.
Go ahead, Calvin.
Yeah, I wasn't able to hear the first gentleman, so if I repeat, my bad. But I would say someone that, in terms of that care, someone that isn't mindful or doesn't demonstrate that they are appreciative or respectful of the time that that woman is giving them, and that can show up in the form of abuse or neglect, right? Because I think that we should all be, as men, as partners in a relationship, we should be useful, but we shouldn't be abnormally using people, which leads to abuse, and then that neglect piece as well. So in addition to what's already been stated, I would say definitely abuse and neglect are top of the list for me.
Okay. All right. What's wrong, Kenny? We'll go to you next, man. What qualities make a man the worst type in a relationship?
That's a very, very slanted question, depending on the relationships that we have nowadays. You hear the generic terms, leadership, it starts with that and then it goes downhill. As for basic tenets that a man should have, you could be a good leader, bad leader. You hear what Mr. King just said. I prefer a partner. You have men that say pushback. Your wife is not your partner. She's your person. She's your support. She's your helpmeet, but is she equal to you? So we could start splitting this banana in many different ways. But as for a man, leadership is something necessary. Others might question your leadership. As long as your household is intact, your woman feels comfortable with the way that you're leading her, you're open to communication, and you put things forth that she can trust, because you're not responsible for someone else besides yourself. So your decision making, as Trev said, consistency. I think you don't need to put a lot of letters in this alphabet soup. We all as men know what we need to do. It's basic common sense. Protect your woman. Be that thing that she can look up to. Be that thing that you put out in the world that you receive back. Keep her from danger. Earn and try to live the best life that you can.
But do you think a lot of men have common sense nowadays, Kenny? You say it's common sense, but do you find that a lot of men, particularly when we're talking about from 18 to 35, do you feel like a lot of men nowadays have a lot of common sense? We say it's common sense, but unfortunately it's missing the mark for a lot of people. So
if you're using 18 to 35, I think we got a lot of work that we need to do, because we got a lot of kids that grew up from baby boomers, single parent homes, under a nurturing system, not learning to stand as a man would stand, and didn't know what to reach out to. So they figured out the best way they knew how. I'm aspirational to think that guidance is needed and we could right the ship, but we got challenges ahead. We look at the young guys when we walk the streets right now, me in New York. How many guys have their pants sagging off their butt? When a lady goes inside the door, they almost knock her down to get in the door first. Chivalry is something of the past. They don't even know how to address people. If you're on a train, they prefer let an old lady stand up rather than yield that seat to them. Yeah, we do have problems. And I do think as for young men that need to be on their square before they get into relationships and become the leaders that we want, yeah, the work needs to be done. A lot of sleeves need to get rolled up and hands put in the dirt. But unfortunately, we don't have enough strong figures, elder-wise, like we had with Big Papa and them and the uncle that didn't play any games. But I still hold hope that we can right the ship.
Okay. Go ahead, Trev Smooth. What qualities make a man the worst type in a relationship?
Oh, I went second.
Oh, you went second? My bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Viz.
I would say right off bat an unstable man. That's the first sign of a man that would not only lead himself but also his family to damnation. I would even give a little pushback on us using the term leaders. We have to. I'm sure we can all agree that all men aren't leaders. Most men are followers. Most men are role players. So I don't know if I can necessarily agree that a man that's not a leader is the worst type of man, because a man that's not a leader can have other better qualities that could still get him to his destination. I believe a confrontational man is the worst type of man for a woman to be in a relationship with. And emotional, envious. These are all traits that that again goes back to a man being unstable. So I think that I think those traits are probably the most the key ones that most women, choose to stay away from. And then I would even say most men stay away from men that react that way too.
Perfect.
Now, hey, when I said leader, right, I was talking about under the guise of a relationship, not like just in general. So if the man is not willing to lead, because there are a lot of men who look to the woman for leadership, and I think that's a horrible idea, and it will lead you to destruction. So, and that could be kept by just simple things. If he's not willing to take control and take responsibility, accountability for what's going on in your situation that you have with that particular man, then I think it'll be a really bad choice for you. And he's going to be basically dictating the way that the relationship goes, because we lead as men, and if we're not willing to, then we can't possibly have a successful relationship.
Hey, Trev, are you saying take responsibility for his actions or the actions of others?
As far as the relationship goes, as far as leading in the relationship, like as far as making decisions, good financial decisions, like where you plan to live, how you're, like the economic plan, things like that. If you're not willing to take charge of those situations and lead it, then yeah, I think you're gonna have some serious issues if you look to the woman to lead, because she can't really trust you if you can't lead. That's a scary ass thing for a woman to lead in a relationship. And there are some women who will do it, but it's not their nature to actually do that.
No, that's fair. I agree with that. But we have learned during this new course of time, this new generation, that there are some alpha women that they appreciate beta men, and there's beta men that's okay with being in that position. So if this woman makes more money and she's more financially sound, then just as Casey has stated, this is if this is your weak point and this is my strong point, then as a man, that man has to bring something else that's going to make up for that weak point that he falls in. So I think if it meshes, if it works for them, then by all means, go for it.
So if your woman made more money than you, you would be comfortable letting her make all the final decisions?
Me personally, not the final decisions, no.
And that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, and I hear what you're saying, but you wouldn't practice it personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't practice it personally, but I'm saying that we know that there are a lot of different type of men out there, and there are some men that'll be okay with that.
Well, I would say, Trev, that I don't think any man would be okay with someone making all the financial decisions if they want to make more than them. But I think the question is what can he do if she does? And she wants to make decisions that she wants to make with her money. Obviously, I don't think any man wants to be run. So, you know what I mean? If you're speaking from that aspect, where can she tell you what to do as a man? But if she makes more than you know what I mean, in those particular situations, the chances are the guy really don't have a choice to begin with, outside of walking away, of course.
Lewis, I have to thank you. You redirected me because I was off track with the answer that I gave, and thank you for doing that. You know what is the worst type of man in a relationship? One that conforms to tribalism. One that can't stand on his own square and realize he's a man and he doesn't have to conform to what other men think about him, just as long as he takes care of him and his, and he does it the right way. He doesn't go out there to be liked or be that person that gets all the hugs. Just do what you're supposed to do for your community and do what's right. Don't conform to other people that have to get a cheerleader, that have to speak softly, then show themselves to be low-key chauvinists, that don't really respect women. They're good to fuck on, pardon my F on, but they're not good to lead a country or tell you anything constructive to pick you up because you look at them as lesser in it. Everything leaves clues. And I'm talking to certain men on this panel. They know who they are when they stuttering through things and they ask for extra help. Those are the worst type of men. A man that you can respect, there could be 30 men in front of him and he's standing there on his square and he's standing for the right thing. He said, bring it on. Because at the end of the day, he'll be remembered when they remind the tape that he wasn't the worst man on the panel. He was the one that stood for something. Lewis, what's my line? It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. That stands the test of time. I digressed.
All right, go ahead, Darwin. What qualities make a man a worst type in a relationship?
All right, so the qualities that make a man worse for a relationship, or is it worse for a relationship? The worst type in a relationship. I would say principles, most definitely. Principles is one of the qualities I think that would make him the worst type. Not having any principle. What I mean by that, you got to understand that principles, they work as a guide on how to live, behave, and connect with people. And he kind of stands for something, something that you can hold him accountable for. Something you can hold him in. If he has principles, he stands for something you can hold him accountable toward. So a man needs principles, and these principles need to intersect with leadership and being the head of the household. So any man that doesn't have any principles, he doesn't stand for anything. He's lost, pretty much. Purpose. purpose, if he doesn't have purpose, which is basically the decisions he make are influenced by his purpose. Every choice he make is influenced by his purpose. The outcomes in his life and in his future is a direct result of his purpose-driven decisions. So this pretty much in a relationship, it gives the woman he finds worthy and ease of mind that she is following someone who knows where the hell he is going. Another thing is articulation, being able to articulate his needs and wants. If you don't have that, that's very bad. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can articulate yourself, it means you can be clear with your word. And then you can stand on your word. And somebody can hold you accountable for not standing on your word. But if you're not able to articulate your word, nobody can understand you, and it's confusing. This for me specifically, I've always been trying to read and expand my the words I use. I'm just looking at words and reading definitions just to try to learn new words to add to my vocabulary. What this does is it gives women clarity, and it removes confusion, especially in interactions that might require somebody to compromise, or if I need to make a specific demand and kind of flex my leadership for the best interest of the relationship. Boundaries is very important. A man don't have boundaries. That's why a lot of these guys are getting railroaded out here in the dating atmosphere. They're not setting any boundaries. These boundaries pretty much help you recognize nuances. And these nuances pretty much derive from accepting bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? So men are able to establish boundaries, prevents a lot of issues from happening, especially with these women today. Sorry if y'all hear my son in the background. Humbleness, man, humbleness is key. It's something I had to pick up. Humbleness, you don't have this, man, you need to get it. Being able to have humility and learn from mistakes and look at them as lessons and appreciate the significance and the impact of failing. So if you have humility, this allow you to learn from your mistakes. You'll start appreciating when you fail. I remember when I was watching Kobe, and he was talking about how he was excited to fail because he knew he had something to go work on when he went back to the gym, went back to the weight room. So he was excited to watch film, excited to keep trying to be the best version of himself. And he kind of used that energy to create the Mamba mentality. So love is another one. Understanding love as a charity, and how to use love without being manipulated for it. Composure. Composure is something that I've always worked on. That's why I'm able to have conversations with guys and not get really triggered and use instinct whenever I get pushed in the corner. And I might be talking to somebody on it. No, I'm just kidding. But composure.
Hey, but Darn, you speaking on qualities that a good man would have.
No, but you try it. But if you invert it, it's also qualities that if the man don't have these, it makes him a bad person to be with.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I think the ones I listed so far could be potential deal breakers to women. Because you imagine not having an emotional intelligence, not being able to protect yourself from acting off of instinct and making poor choices. That's why a lot of these guys get in these relationships and they become abusive. They get angry. They can't get this woman to stop pushing back and being combative, and then result to using hands and stuff because they don't know how to keep their composure and just walk the hell away. And then you got self-respect, man. You don't know how to. You got to have respect for yourself if you want other people to respect you. But I could go all day, man. I'm gonna let somebody else chime in because I don't want to take up all the cookie.
All right, go ahead, Hank.
Shout out to the Gooch. Let me say this.
Gucci man.
All those things you great men name, those are all beautiful things. Those are all things that these women shouldn't be dealing with. But unfortunately, all that shit for nothing. Y'all just said words because they hear all that shit and they still go for those type men. Doesn't matter. All those things y'all just talked about, they should stay away. But those are the type of men they love. Those are the type of men they will give babies to. Those are the type of men they will marry. They will be side chicks for. They have a whole relationship with. Yeah, those type of dudes. Let me say this. The type of dude that talks loud saying nothing. It's one of the worst dudes you can find. Because all these things y'all sit there and said don't mean shit. He could tell you he does all those things. But if his action doesn't back up what he say, it don't mean shit. A gay man. You got goddamn sugars in your back pocket, cookies in your back pocket. Yeah, that's not the good for the women. Some of you motherfuckers will be having a man who crosses over. Like Allen Iverson. Leave them motherfuckers alone, ladies. Y'all see it. But he thinks you got good qualities on other things and all. And motherfuckers out there sucking dick like you are.
Hey, wait, hold on. What happened with AI?
Come on, man. What?
He said crossover. AI is famous for its crossover.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
was bad to use Allen Iverson, man. It's almost
bro,
slander.
I was about to say, like,
I went over all your head, no way.
What that nigga?
Trev, I appreciate you being a small planet group. Let me say this, ladies. Another mistake, having a dumb man. Leave the idiots alone.
Hey, watch it, Hank. Just because your joke didn't land.
No, it landed. You was just a slow dude didn't catch it.
I wasn't the only one that had the confused look on my face.
I got you, bro. That's all right. That little bus is waiting on you.
You the one driving it.
I think you hit on a good point though, talking about if your actions don't line up with your words, regardless of what the words are, there has to be an alignment between those two, or else like what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's easier said than done too, because like let's say we dealing with, I think y'all refer to him as a alpha female. There's gonna be times where she tests your limits, she tests your patience, but because you love her and because you wanna, you know what I'm saying, be patient, steadfast, and endurant, you kind of put up with some of that. But does that, gray those boundaries where it's like, hey, we ain't gonna do too much in this situation, but I love you enough to hear you out in your emotional state, and we can still rock? Or is it like, nah, ain't no female gonna talk to me like that, so let me draw the line there? You might miss out on something like if she's in the process of healing from something, she's in the process of learning some new information, in the process of learning how to follow a man. Like, how much grace do you have to give her?
I think that's all based on your individual tolerance.
First of all, you need to let her be. You need to send her to somebody's classroom, send her to her elder sister's classroom, because by this point, she should already know. Now, if she's going to test you, you better let her know. You better address it as soon as possible. Don't ever do that shit again. And it'll be the last time you do that. But you have to address it on point. Don't let that shit slide. Even if you watch her do it to someone else, you should address that. It doesn't have to be you she tested you on.
I agree with that.
What's the alpha female?
There's no such thing as an alpha female.
Yeah, that wasn't my term. I heard it.
I heard that term 3 times tonight. There's no such thing as an alpha female. That's a misplaced female.
That's fair. I only said that in the sense of there are some women that are more aggressive. They're more persuasive, or whatever the case may be. Right?
I would disagree unless y'all can give me context on why there is no alpha female, because I believe it is.
Yeah, no
such thing as an alpha female.
I think that is definitely.
You can sit here and say that over and over until you give me context on why.
You ask for context. In a pack of wolves, there's no alpha female. There's an alpha male.
Okay, Law, let's talk about human beings.
So when you attribute that, they say alpha as for using masculine terms. If you look in the dictionary, it defines masculine tendencies.
Okay, let's talk about the honeybee then. Is there an alpha female?
Okay, so there's no such thing as an alpha female in the honeybee. There's a queen. and that's it. It doesn't fit the dynamic of the conversation. We can go to the bare minimum of the definition itself.
Okay, so you're saying
Masculine.
based on
A
the
woman is
animals.
not masculine. A woman
So
is
based on the
feminine.
animal structure and the way they operate, we can't develop any innovation on intelligence and articulate a way the way women can be something that most women aspire to be like and label that alpha female because
No,
we're restricted to the animal structure. Is that what you're trying
no,
to tell me?
no. In any structure, if you say alpha, that means apex. That means top. You put a
Well,
man next to that
what if
woman,
I
she is not
remove it?
alpha.
What if I'm trying to intentionally remove it from it being apex or any correlation to animal structure? And I'm just
Then that
simply
still
Use
means that it's
animal
not an alpha
structure.
female.
I used human
okay. So
structure.
what do you label a woman who majority of women aspire to be like? All of her characteristics and attributes.
That
A
wouldn't to me
woman.
that
A
a
woman.
woman like that doesn't to me that does not speak to being a
Okay, so
alpha female. Hold on. I'm gonna do that. So when you thinking of a alpha female, are you thinking like a matriarch? You don't have to
No.
carry yourself as an alpha female to be a matriarch, to be the head of something. But alpha is
Let's just get this
first.
straight. I
If
didn't
you look
make
at
up the
hold on.
term. So you can't ask me
bro,
what do I mean by that. I'm just trying to understand why
So
people are using the term.
well, again, the term alpha is first, right? You know what I'm saying? And if you're going by, let's say, even biblical terms, is the woman is never first. Plain and simple. You dig what I'm saying?
Well,
If
that's
you
what
are
I'm
going to be in
saying. What y'all are doing, and y'all are putting restrictions on it because y'all are applying it to pre-existing structures. He applied it to a pre-existing structure called the animal structure. You just applied it to a biblical structure. But if you go into like masonry or sorority or fraternities and stuff, you might find that what is it called? The female version of a masonry. They have a star.
Eastern Star.
If you have some of these females have an actual worthy, I think they call it a worthy matron. She has the characteristics and the attributes of
but they're
what you
still
would
ran
call
by
an alpha
men.
male, but she's the female version of it.
They're still ran by men, recruited by men, everything else. You can't just do that.
Actually, no, they actually are recruited by the worthy matron. The females actually run the sorority or fraternity, whatever.
Keep up with what we're talking about, Sweeney. Adding a sorority is not justifying why he's
Bruce
still
literally
stuck on.
mentioned.
Okay, so you might want to consume the information because you mentioned
did.
it.
You cut me off. You cut me off. Bruiser did mention. He said, "What about sororities or what do they call the opposite of the Freemasonries?" He did mention sorority. So one of them said, "Okay, well the men run run the Easter Stars." I said, "Well, what about the sororities?"
Okay, so
it was just a question.
Because what I want to do is I'm trying to expand our ability to be able to think outside of our own restrictions and what we look at that might be kind of outdated. And it might not be not outdated as far as something you can still follow and uphold, but we still should be able to allow ourselves to mentally embrace.
Nah, Bruiser, you can't get that because you always refer to the Bible, like all of your structure and pretty much your entire philosophy is based on the Bible. Or at least.
So what do you mean I can't get it because I refer to the Bible?
Okay,
because in the Bible there's no it's God, man, then the wife.
Right.
And there's no leader. There's no.
So they can hear us, y'all.
The question was, according to the Bible and according to what I believe and the principles I follow, is there an alpha female? Then I would decline that. I would say no.
And that's what I'm saying. So
the question is in the restrictions of the biblical context. I didn't know that.
What do you mean restrictions?
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is, you're saying that we're trying to figure out what an alpha female is in the context of biblical context. That's what Trev just alluded to.
Real quick, Darwin, you're trying to justify the term alpha female. We already know what it is.
No, I'm just trying to understand how the term is applied and where did it come from, and try to understand why the people are embracing this concept. I'm just trying to understand it. Other people.
I got you, Darwin, but
I already know my word.
Okay.
No, but you also said that you believe that there is such a thing.
Yeah,
like you honor
Well,
it.
yeah.
That's what you said.
So I do believe I believe there can be such a thing depending on the structure. If it's a biblical structure, then no. But if there's a structure like the Eastern Star, then yeah. If there's a structure like Kamala Harris, okay, what would you call Donald Trump? Would he be considered the alpha male of the United States?
But we're talking about under the guise
I'm
of a
just asking a simple
relationship.
question. Would Donald Trump be considered the alpha male of the United States if he's elected president? Yes or no?
I wouldn't consider him the alpha male of the United States.
So if Kamala Harris
be
became the
alpha
president
male,
of the United States, would she be considered an alpha female?
No.
It's a contradiction.
No, it's not. Because alpha denotes a masculine tendency. So
No, it
only a
doesn't.
man can fit that position. A matriarch can fit that position as law introduced to you.
Well, no,
such
women,
as Angela Merkel,
women
Isabel
can have
Perón,
masculine. Women
They
can
can
have
have
masculine
masculine
traits the same
traits.
way that men have feminine traits.
Yeah, you know,
women
I
can have
think
So
what?
you just
See, what Kenny don't understand
when
is masculine
men,
and feminine is just two different sides of the brain, and you might operate on one side more often than the other one.
Okay, now that's going into theory. That's
that's
No,
going
that
not
into
ain't got nothing to
theory.
do with
going
theory.
into
That's science.
psychological
That
theory.
ain't got nothing to do with theory. This is
Okay,
actual
so
truth.
that's
Yeah,
going
this
into
is actual science.
That's going into psyche. So now we're
That's
talking.
not theory.
Okay, psyche is not theory. Keep up with
Psychology
me.
is theory.
I'm gonna let that one breathe. I don't think you wanted to play around with me, Viz, because this is the one where you have to graduate from the Dr. Seuss books. So psyche is not involving theory, sir. I went to college. I got good grades in that. You sure you want to go down this, or you want to concede and go on mute?
So
You didn't want to play this game with the gooch today.
my bad,
I
Gucci
will
man.
make you look stupid. You should have ran back to the
You
women's
warming up
panel.
your gooch. I forget. My bad.
You should have
warming up your
ran back
gooch.
to the women's panel.
So we all know that there's two sides of the brain. The right side of the brain is for creativity. The left side of the brain is for function. This is science. This isn't a theory. This is what we know. The frontal lobe develops at a certain age in order for you to be able to make certain decisions on this. This is science. This isn't theory.
Yes, and science involves theorem. Until we get further knowledge, that is what we understand. But then there's further knowledge that we learn regarding the brain and left and right side that has been over decades corrected. So it stays in the theorem.
What has been corrected?
Understand as of now.
What has been corrected
That's
by
the difference.
the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain? What has been corrected as of recently?
Okay, you never picked up the book.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question.
Wait. If you don't know
Kendra,
about
I'm
it, how are
asking you
you
a
standing
question.
and saying I'm wrong?
Hey, listen, before y'all get
I'm
before y'all
asking
get
you
in
a
a pissing
question. Just
contest
answer the question.
figure out who got a better high GPA or some shit. How about we just stick to where we were going? Let's just say let's just agree that it's a theorem. That means that we reserve the right to use our own discernment on whether it's masculinity. Go ahead, Ken.
Where we were, right, Darwin?
So what?
Women are not masculine. We both have chromosomes that give us kind of like things, but then when we're born, we're defined as things. A man is a man, a woman is a woman.
Okay,
There's
so
no
now you're
alpha
talking about
female. There's matriarch.
male.
I'm going
You're
to
talking
basic
about biology now.
Yes.
What you're talking about is male and female. This ain't got nothing to do with masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine is two parts of the brain, bro. It's one side or the other side, and you operate on different energies depending on your character, your individual characteristics. A woman can be a woman can be more feminine or either more masculine, and vice versa with the man. It ain't got nothing to do with your X and Y chromosome.
Darwin, I'm gonna give you a chance to pull back because you seem a little befuddled.
Well, I'm not gonna pull back because this is basic facts and science.
This is just real quick.
Like on the far side of the field. Huh? Well, you know what? Let me just do my test on you right fast. Huh? I'm gonna do my test on you right fast.
What are you doing? What's that?
Huh?
What is that?
No, this is a stud finder. By any chance, are you strapped up right now?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. You looking real fly right there. Hold on, let me see something right fast. Huh?
What's that?
No, this is a stud finder. It ain't picking nothing
Oh,
up.
we.
It ain't picking nothing up.
It ain't picking nothing up.
Yeah, I knew you wasn't really on that side. Oh no, never mind. It's going off now.
Going off.
Yeah, you a real stud. I couldn't tell it not.
Oh, yeah.
Can we ask ourselves a question? Do y'all think so? Darwin, I got this question for you. Do you feel like if somebody play for the other team that it's natural?
That is natural.
Okay. Yeah, I think y'all moving the goalposts on this.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to say. Do you think it's a malfunction, or do you think that somebody just could be more feminine or masculine?
I don't think any of that's natural. I don't think that was intended way the human being was supposed to behave or operate. I think
so.
That
now we're
just
talking
based
about
on
there's certain things that's supposed to be intended, right? So it's not natural, and that's the point we're making with the feminine, and the masculine. Like you can be, I guess, coerced or maybe you had trauma or different things that would make it so you have to behave more masculine or due to dangerous circumstances, but it's not natural. That's not your default setting. When they do these studies with the children, they put boys in one area, girls in one area, and they observe them as kids. There's almost never a scenario where a dude just start acting like a chick or a female acting super masculine. That's not nature. So that's what I'm saying. Like being that there's this perversion of society right now, right? Like a fallen state. This is what's happening. And we're starting to see these things and we can't accept it as being natural or normal.
Well, so here's the truth. It's really actually the default silence. The default setting is actually balance. There is no energy operating on one end or the other. What happens is when a man and a woman join together, one of them take to one side of the brain more than the other one. And it creates a unison. It creates a balance. You get what I'm saying? The woman takes more to the feminine side of her brain and the man takes more to the masculine side of the brain. And this is vice versa. If you have a soft male who's more feminine and a woman who's more masculine, those things can work at the same time. The default setting is this is an experiment that's been debunked, recently debunked too. There is no data or no research that suggests that men operate more on its masculine side than a woman does. The default settings is balance. It depends on what you encounter in life or what you go in life.
I'm not gonna let you say that.
These sides of your
definitely disagree.
Cite your source.
These sides of your brain activate depending on the circumstance. If it require masculine energy and you're a woman, those energies are going to activate and you're going to tap into that side of your brain and vice versa. It's not I'm just a woman because I'm more on the other side. This is a fallacy.
I do want to get on.
Agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have all respond, and then we got to go ahead and keep it moving.
I encourage y'all to do your own research.
So check it out. So the reason why I disagree with that, I've done plenty of research. Not only that, have you ever raised a son and a daughter? It's very different the way testosterone works in the male body. Extra testosterone pushes you a certain way, regardless if you realize it or not. Certain things are just a masculine trait. I knew my son was more masculine than my daughter's when he was like 4 months old, I would say. Just certain things that he would do that my daughters did not do. Then as he got older, 1 year old, certain things that he would do. It's just very different when you're raising boys and you're raising girls. You see,
but he's around a masculine man, though, bro.
No. This is before you even realize that. That didn't have anything. He never saw me jumping from the top stairs. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that testosterone pushes. Then when you start to become of the age with size, the way you grow, the strength. I mean, it's just very different. So a lot of times we can say you can be as feminine as you want or as masculine as you want as a woman. You're still not going to be able to do the same things that a actual man will do, but regardless of what side of your brain you use it. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, y'all. We got to get back on track to the topic. Pose this question to the panel. Do strong women attract weak men, or is it the other way around?
Facts. I agree with that. Strong women, they do, because I mean, my thing is, you're weak if you let strong women tend to want to run over you, right? They want to lead. They want to be the one in the household, and that's I'm talking about. That's when I hear the term strong woman attract weak men. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. Who do you think attracts weak men?
So what does weak women attract?
Bullies. What do you mean?
Come
Like,
on, man. Yeah, no, man. I think strong women, they may attract weak men, but I feel as if strong men should be attracted to strong women regardless. So I don't think that just because this woman is strong and I'm a strong man, I'm supposed to be turned off by her or something.
Now, when we say strong, are we talking about masculine, or are we saying like strength? Can we define strong so we all on the same page?
Yeah, tell us. Intelligence.
What is strong?
Yeah, what is strong?
Or are we still talking about masculine?
I don't know who.
If we're talking about alpha, if we're talking about an alpha woman attracting weak men, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's probably not take it out of context. Let's just think like grown adults. When you hear the term strong woman, a strong woman, what comes to mind? I even heard some of y'all on the panel say, man, I need a strong woman. I love a strong woman.
Who you heard said that?
I've heard some of y'all on the panel say, I hate this woman is weak. These women are weak. That's why they losing.
No.
Don't put a name on that bullet. Who said that?
Kenny P.
So Darwin, it pretty much comes down to is a woman who has high confidence and it's not passive. She's not submissive. You know, she values her own autonomy. And certainly she's someone who is always going to challenge you. And I think that for weak men or men who don't necessarily have a backbone or a position to stand firm on, they're going to buckle. And sort of when we do the comparison with men who do have a backbone, who do stand on business, who do have and hold the masculine frame, they don't find those women as attractive because they always run into the situation of when we need to get something done, or if I need to break through, am I always going to run into a point of contention? It's okay to have the conversation and it's okay to disagree, but is this going to always be a constant friction, you know?
So what would we call a woman who has a backbone, doesn't bend easily, makes decisions on her own, take advantage I don't want to say take advantage of weak men, but has the power to move weak men. They are strong and confident. They are the head of whatever, you know what I mean? They're at the top of their game. What would we call those women?
Single.
Come on, man. Let's be for real. No, for real. Let's be for real.
Man,
what would we call those women?
For real. He showed the video of that strong woman saying that a man has to match my $150,000 a year, my master's degree. Most of those women are single. They're in groups alone.
I get that they are single. What I'm asking is, what would you call? Because if I describe that as a man, what would we call him?
That's how men are supposed to be.
What would we call them?
Since the beginning of time, the paradigm doesn't fit us.
What would we call them?
A man.
A man, because men have been dating down from the beginning of time.
So we call a man that can move other men just a man?
Okay, now you're moving the goalposts.
Sweeney, they intentionally dodging the fact that they don't want to say masculinity.
Okay. Do strong women, if you took the woman out, okay, Baldy Locks, slow down. Do strong, if you took the woman out. We share the same damn razor.
We share the same razor, motherfucker.
Okay. Do strong men attract weak women? We've been doing that from the beginning of time. So the paradigm doesn't fit. We've been dating down. Allow me to finish and I'll give it to you. So it doesn't fit us. We've been dating down from the beginning of time. We've been the breadwinners. We come home and bring home the spoils of war. Those women are not stronger than us. They fall in line. They're our support. And that's not meaning that they're subservient or under us. That's our role from the beginning of time. So when you switch it around trying to be all crafty, it does not
It's
fit
not
the
being crafty.
paradigm.
It's a straight up question. What would you call that woman?
Well, all due respect, the question was answered, but strong women are usually alone, like Trev said.
What
And
does
then
that
the
have
other
to do with
ones,
them being
they have
single?
other ones that fold to their wants, and those men are miserable.
Fair enough.
And then the rest of those women that can't get men, they lonely.
Okay, fair enough. They may be single, but if you met that woman,
can I ask y'all a quick question?
No. I want to ask this question. What's considered a weak woman?
A weak woman is a woman that lacks self-esteem. Let's give the classic
insecure.
Talk like we're sixth graders.
You are a sixth grader. So
okay, talk like I'm a sixth grader then.
Okay. A weak woman is a woman that
stop using blanket terms because you're trying to chip us
a
out of
woman.
context.
Okay, so I guess you don't want to hear. So it was just rhetorical. So a woman that lacks self-esteem, that falls for anything and follows your lead, even if you're not a strong leader, is a weak woman.
So a strong man shouldn't want a strong woman? The opposite of what you just named?
Who just said they shouldn't? You just put in a different question. And if you would like me to answer that,
how about you let somebody else answer?
Okay, so he asked me, Baldy Locks. So
he didn't ask you.
You don't want. Yes, he phrased it to me, and I'll answer quick so I don't clog up the panel. No man wants a woman stronger than
too late.
Well, look, here's
I got a quick question though.
Wait. Let me say this real quick. Here's the thing, and I'm sure as we can all agree as men up here, that a woman is going to submit to the man that she chooses to submit to. If you're a strong man, if she's a strong woman, and you have essentially proven yourself to this woman, she's going to submit to you, regardless if she's strong or weak or whatever title you want to give to her. That shouldn't matter if you are a strong man.
And that is your mistake.
That's not a
you're
mistake.
Not proving yourself to no woman. A woman falls under your purpose. You don't step and fetch. You only court a woman. You think Hink's wife came in making her demands? He put his demands on the table and said, roll or get rolled over. But this is how it's going to be in my house. Am I wrong or right, Hank?
That's not the context of that.
Right, Gooch. You're right.
That's not the context of that.
So look, strong, one thing that we got to remember.
If the woman sees that if Hink's wife saw that he handled and conducted business in a certain way, shape, and form, he already proved himself to her. A woman isn't going to submit to somebody that they don't trust, that they don't have faith in, that they don't feel safe with. These are the basics
of
a healthy relationship.
That's not what you asked. That's a given, but that's not what you asked. You said the man had to prove himself to her. Hink gave you a clear indication of why he's married now. He's a man that stood on his square and said, this is what I want. Okay, allow it to breathe.
Consume it don't need to breathe. The same way that Shannon spoke about a couple weeks ago.
So now have the
decorum.
Just let somebody else have the mic.
Have the decorum, because you're not going to do that, Sweeney. So,
bro, this is ridiculous. Bro. You got to let somebody else talk.
So when Hink said, he told us weeks back that he said, these are the things that I bring to the table. You either rock or you don't rock. He's not proving himself. She's seeing the man's resume and she's falling in line with it.
Your resume is the proof.
Right.
Your resume.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Listen, I think we're getting away from the original question. Remember, the question was, is a strong woman, right? My thing is, we had a little bit more clarification on what a strong woman is. My thing is, when I hear that in the context of what we've been talking about, attract weak men? Yes, I do think that. As in a woman that thinks she is the one that's going to run the household. Yeah, the only man that's going to allow that kind of shit is one that's not a leader and one that's a beta. Plain and simple. If y'all don't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. But y'all know what we mean. Let's stop trying to get all philosophical with it. Let's answer the question, what do we think? When a woman is considering herself as strong, or how are you strong? Are you dominating the relationship? Is it your way or the highway? Is he on your program or are you on his? If it's a man that's going to allow you to run him and be on his program, then yes, that is a weak man. And that's usually the type of women they attract those type of men. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, the answer is yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get Calvin in there and Luis.
Hey, I was gonna say, man, I'm just learning and listening, man. But I think, in my opinion, my truth is that a woman, a strong woman, if you want to call it that, is gonna attract a man that's strong in areas that she's not, and then vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's you're just on this side weak or you're on this side strong. It's what are you strong at, and what can I use that strength in? Right. I think I used the term earlier, or somebody used the term earlier in terms of support or helpmate. Like if you're not strong in the areas in which I need help, how are you helping me? I can do good all by myself. So unless you're adding to my deficit, then it wouldn't necessarily attract me personally. I think in general, what I've seen in society is, depending on how strong you are financially, right? Regardless of, what type of masculinity you coming with or what type of strength, if we want to say that, you coming with, a female is going to be attracted to that because it's mean. I'm not saying a female, a person is going to be attracted to that because the means that come with it, the security, financial and otherwise, that comes with it, the access, the lifestyle that comes with it. She don't necessarily have to be for real attracted to you physically because of your strength or because of your intellect or because of the traditional things that I think attract one person to another. I think a lot of times these are transactions versus relations when you initially getting to meet somebody. Now as you're deciding and deselecting from your options, it goes how it goes. But I think that people ultimately end up doing life with people that are strong in the areas that they don't have as much strength in. And that goes both ways, in my opinion.
So
Okay.
what I want to say
Hold on,
is,
hold on. Let's got to go in order. Gotta get everybody in there first. Go ahead, Luis, and then Trev.
Yeah. I want to kind of go back
Turn
to
your mic
what
up,
Kenny.
Luis.
Can you hear me okay now? All right.
Yeah, we
I
hear
want
you.
to.
It's just airy.
Fuck. I want to go back with what Kenny said at one point. Why those women who, um, went to school, have all these accolades, etc. The reason why they're single is because they have a lot of ego. We have to be very honest. There are a lot of women out here who have a lot of ego and they're very arrogant. We cannot dismiss that. It's not that they're strong, it's that their ego and their arrogance is much stronger than their personality traits. That is what's defeating them and keeping them down like an anvil sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Moving forward, I'm saying, when we talk about strength, we got to really define like what strength is and where does that lie in, because we look at strength from the woman that works the corporate job, the CEO, the C-suite corner, or she's the paralegal, etc. But we also have women, and we can't forget, we have stay-at-home moms. We have women who are home care, who are home care providers, right? We have women who have a business from home, right? And they have a certain functionality that they have to be mentally strong and mentally equipped. There are a lot of people who unfortunately are in relationships who have not been tested mentally, who have not been tested emotionally, right? They'll break at the sign of of conflict or even challenge. And sort of when we talk about strength, I want to kind of I want to go back and clarify a little bit things that in a relationship context, we need people to show up in their best attributes. If I need your strength to be in this particular role, right? Like Hank, he has his marriage, he has his relationship. He knows what his wife's strengths are, and he understands his, right? But unfortunately, what happens is we look at strength from the combative or non-cooperative or non, trying to like pull down the relationship in a way where it doesn't really progress. And, that's pretty much what I got. Oh, yeah. I had a bunch of notes.
I got you. Go ahead, Trey.
So, as far as the question is concerned, if you're asking, do strong women attract weak men? The only type of strong that, in my opinion, would attract a weak man is a woman who's masculine, right? And just or thinks that she's an alpha. Those are the type of women who would attract a weak man. If we say strong, like a person who is like your rock, right? Somebody who's like the strong qualities we actually appreciate about women, then that is not so much going to attract a weak man. But a woman who is overly masculine is absolutely going to attract a weak man because he doesn't have to make a lot of the decisions. And we do understand that women will take advantage of a situation. I've seen it happen plenty of times. They want to be an authoritarian. They want to run a household, and they don't trust in a man enough for him to lead. And maybe it's extremely likely that she hasn't had any good examples of men to develop that trust, right? Absence of a father, and just has witnessed poor examples of men. And when you see that, then it's going to be difficult for you to actually trust men in the first place. So with her lack of trust, she's going to never be able to have faith in a man and say, look, I need you to take care of this. It's not going to happen. She's going to want to just grab the bull by the horns and do everything. And that man who society describes as a beta is going to be happy with that because he actually gets to relinquish his responsibility. He doesn't want the pressure. There are some men who just ain't built like that and can't handle things, and they'll be quite satisfied with the woman running the show. And that's an absolute weakling. And that's what most of us should be encouraging men to never aspire to be. What you got, Vic? What you got, Vic?
Isn't that what we were talking about anyway with the video? We weren't talking about, like, my wife is a strong woman, but my wife ain't running around here trying to run the household. She's not trying to be the leader. That's what I'm talking about in reference to that first woman that we discussed in the video. And in that, you know what we're talking about when we're saying strong women. We need to throw some quotation marks up there or something.
I personally don't correlate a woman that wants to run the household as a strong woman. When I hear or think of strong woman, and maybe this has shifted because of what we see in the workforce and corporate and entrepreneurs, is that women that are able to handle and conduct business in a certain way, shape, and form and not fold under pressure, to me, that is a strong woman. Most weak men wouldn't even have the balls or audacity to even approach a strong woman. Most strong women wouldn't even fathom even having a conversation with a weak man. Now, there are some situations where, yes, there are women that take advantage of them. But I would argue that in most cases, those women aren't strong women. Those are weak women that's putting on a facade, and they want to appear to be masculine. So I agree with what y'all are saying, and maybe our perspectives are just different. But when I hear a strong woman, I'm thinking of a woman that can hold down the fort. She's in business. She can walk into a boardroom and she can blend in, if not stand out amongst other men, and she won't fold and fall back. A woman that's secure in what it is that she do, what she has in herself, in her future. That to me is a strong woman, not the toxic terms that you guys are mentioning. And which again, I agree with.
That's what the video was, though, bro. That's what we were referring to.
Yeah, because if you try to if you're using that context, I don't think there's any man in this panel who would disagree with you as far as that's concerned. But like Law was saying, the video kind of showed a different type of strong.
Well,
so
I would argue that I think even strong women are attracted to strong men. That's one of the first things that they say is that they need a man that's going to alpha them. Whenever we hear these women talk, that's the first thing they say is I need somebody that's going to outdo me in this particular field. So they normally are not attracted to weaker men. And then also, I don't think weak men are attracted to strong women. I just think that I think you have a bunch of people who see an opportunity to take advantage if they think they can, and they try it.
Sweeney, are there men who claim to be alpha or who are not high functioning?
Wait, what? You got to read.
I said, are there men who claim to be alpha who are not high functioning?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So what is the point of that woman striving for a man who's alpha when he's not high functioning?
I didn't say that. I don't think a woman would go after a man that's claiming to be alpha, but he's not high function. I think she would want an alpha man. Whatever that in cases, how we described that on this panel, I think most of those women want that man. I don't think they want a man that's claiming to be alpha, but he's low function or he's not one. They typically would command or demand a man that is alpha. Not to say that they would get him. I'm not saying they'd get him, but that's what they want.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes we're describing somebody who's more of a dictator and not really a leader. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say high functioning, I'm talking about someone who knows how to move in different areas and different spaces. Like earlier today, we've highlighted a bunch of things that make a man, not reliable, right? I've listed a ton of them. And sort of one of the things that I saw that is not high functioning. Like dudes can beat all they want. Give me a second. Like dudes could beat their chest all they want and make demands, but who's gonna really follow that? A lot of women have their own opinions and a lot of their strong beliefs, but unfortunately, a lot of dudes don't lay out the brickwork for them to step on as well.
No, I agree. That's why I said I think that's what I'm not saying that these women would get that type of man. What I'm saying is that most of them would want the exact man that you're describing. If you ask any woman that's strong in whatever field she's in, if she's a alpha female, since we want to put quotations around it, none of them ever say, I want a weak or a beta male. They always say, I want somebody that's going to out alpha me.
No, I don't agree with that. Because first of all, most of these women don't like to compete. So now, if you're gonna get up with a man like what you just sit there and describe, they're gonna have to compete, and they don't like to compete. They hate competing. They feel like they should come in a room and you should kowtow to their needs, and that's what they want. So I do think these strong women are attracted to weak men because they can realize within the conversation, and they're gonna realize he may talk loud, like I said earlier, but he ain't saying nothing, and they can see right through the shit. Oh yeah, that's the one for me. I'm gonna be able to control him. I can move him like a chess piece all over the board and do what I want with him, and ain't shit he can do about it. Why? Because they pushing this shit now. House husband 2024. That's all they talking about now. Why you think they saying that shit? Because they okay with being weak men. They okay to submitting to a woman. They okay for the woman to be the provider. Because that's what they want. Women don't want to compete. When you got to compete, you want a strong man, you got to compete. And most of these women ain't getting these strong men like they think.
Well, no,
so I can't agree with that.
No, I agree that they're not getting them, but that's out of the situation that men don't tend to. A strong man won't tend to deal with that, so they don't normally work out. And even then, like the ones that I guarantee you, all these motherfuckers that screaming house husband online are all probably still single. Because most women ain't gonna sit here and deal with a motherfucker that's on his ass in the crib and a woman's going to work. Most.
And I would say that they not strong women.
It's not true because they doing it now. Their baby daddy was like that. Their baby daddy was like that. While they at work, they borrowing a car, driving around, playing PlayStation all goddamn day. Sitting in your barbershop talking shit, ain't got a goddamn job. You looking at him like, hey man,
most of them are all like,
that's
even
what
the
they
women
want.
are
They don't
shit.
want look again, I'm gonna say it again, Sweeney. They don't want a man they can compete with. They not trying to compete with a man. Not like that. Why would they want to get a man who's just strong in? Now she has really little to no say so because she know this
And
man is going to dominate the whole relationship. And what's she gonna be able to say to him? You can't hold money over his head. You can't hold sex over his head because guess what? With you, I'm a strong man. I'm gonna go out here and get another woman, and she could be feminine, relaxed, and broken wrists and all. He could do that because he's a strong man. So there's always gonna be a demand for him.
So,
Hey,
Hank,
hold on. I do have another question on the post real quick. Do you believe black women are held to higher standards than black men in relationships?
Damn, so I couldn't answer the last question.
Oh, go ahead, Dara. Go ahead. You guys said the last question, and then we'll switch to this.
All right. So what I was gonna say was, and I think this is important for me to get this out. Some people did touch on it, but I'm trying to give you more context. So if we look at a strong woman doesn't conform to society. She's intentional and she's meticulous with the choices. She has values and principles that she stands on. And she's pretty much unwavering to attention and the influence of weak men. These women typically are like, they're assertive. You know, they have enough drive to accommodate for their ability to build a lifestyle and survive on their own. But at the same time, you know, a strong woman is curating herself. She's curating her resume to be a suitable wife to the man she desires. And the man she desires is typically the man her father approve of. Weak men are intimidated by strong women because they can't use her. They can't persuade her to bend her standards. They can't persuade her to bust it open. She's too strong for that. She's impenetrable. She has principles and standards she stands on. Weak men are intimidated by her, you know, and these are guys that, you know, they're not looking to date her for intentionally for marriage. So these weak men don't even stand a chance. They're usually when they see strong women walk, oh man, I ain't gonna even waste her time. Some of them have courtesy. Some weak men actually show courtesy. Like, you know what? I know that girl and I know her father, man. And he actually see a lot in her and she's doing a lot of good things. I ain't gonna even come and fuck her life up. These weak men don't even step to these women. And then when we talk about weak women are like a computer with a whole bunch of vulnerabilities. You know, they're highly susceptible to viruses, meaning she's easily swayed into promiscuity. You know, she's easily swayed to go looking for social media validation and inevitably making poor decisions with her body. Weak women typically go for weak men, you know, men who bend to beauty and attraction, and they don't have any boundaries, which makes them privy to manipulation. Strong women, and I'm with Calvin. Strong women attract strong men, and strong men attract strong women. I needed that to go on the damn record.
I think we're missing the whole point.
What my man Goose called you baldy locks. Yeah, he wrong, baldy locks. Again, why is these pookies out here getting these lawyers, these judges, these high class women on a regular basis? They talk about it, they bragging about this shit. They are getting them, they knocking them up, giving them babies.
Do you see what you just did?
But one could make a
Hold
case.
on, did you see what you just did? You took a label and you identified that as a strong woman. You said because she was a lawyer and all these high class, that doesn't make her a strong woman. I just gave you
talking about overall, bro. We sticking with the
what you
code
did.
of what we talking
What you
about.
did was you just spoke without listening. I gave you a complete rundown with a strong woman, and it ain't had shit to do with her being a lawyer. It ain't had shit to do with her occupation. It ain't had shit to do with a degree.
Bro, y'all getting in y'all feelings talking about.
I'm not getting in my feelings. I'm just standing on business. And whenever when men get exposed, listen, one thing about you, Law, when a man get back into a corner, you got to let him eat from his. You got to let him stand on a hill on his own.
We gonna get to you. We gonna put you on the hill too. But it's heat time.
We going all around in circles when we.
I'm not going around in circles. I'm very precise with what I was just saying.
Of the video was talking about that type
no,
of
but
strong
he asked
woman.
us a specific question to give context behind. We was all scattered with our thoughts on what a strong woman was. We had to break this shit down. Remember?
Yeah, that's
what makes you think yours was right?
Well, I could tell you why yours is wrong first.
No, tell me why yours is right.
You premise your response against me on talking about a lawyer, a doctor, medical, whatever, as if that's the personification of a strong woman, which is false. I never even stated that.
Tell me why yours is right.
Because you want me to tell you why mine was right? Because a strong woman is backed on. I stated that a strong woman was backed from principles and standards that she got from the covering of her father. And she's unwavering to attention, so to meet validation, or any man that's trying to get in her draws. She don't bend, so she intimidates weak men. These men don't even stand a chance. She's impenetrable. That makes her a strong woman. Y'all think of see what y'all doing is y'all taking the word strong, which is actually a positive term, and making it a weak term because it has something to do with a woman. What makes you, I ain't gonna even say it, what exposes how you look at women.
Bruiser.
Yeah, because I wouldn't even if we're going off of the video, I wouldn't even consider that woman to be strong.
Bruiser, how do we look at women then? I need to hear this.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
the way I look at women is the way I look at women.
Don't bail him out. Let him stand on his own.
You ain't got to bail me out. The way I look at women,
I'm the one that kicked it off
the way you look at women. You just expose how you look at women.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Listen. The way you and I look at women is different, and that's totally fine. We come from different cultural backgrounds and different understanding. But the way you look at women as strong, the way you look at strong exposes that the only thing you associate with a woman being strong is her career path and her accomplishments. That's
mindset. Her mindset.
Why you didn't agree with me when I just gave you a rundown on what a strong woman was?
Because what you said was strong women.
You're mad because he don't agree with you.
I'm not mad. I'm totally fine, bro.
You said
why
you don't agree.
I'm gonna rest my case. What's up, Chicago?
You were trying to respond to you. Yeah, you mad, but that's okay, Bruiser. I thought you was a man. You gonna stay calm because you was that man.
And watch how much.
I see. There's a difference between calm. There's a difference between calm and adding bass.
Law made a solid statement that you tried to chop down just for the sake of trying to look good above the other brothers. This is grandstanding.
Really
how when I just accommodated Calvin and I just praised Calvin's point on how am I trying to make myself look better when I'm actually giving credit what credit is due.
Okay, I'll respond.
Because it ain't because I didn't give credit to you. You making it seem
no. I don't worry about me. I stand alone. I'm good at that. So here's the thing.
Well, every time you stand, Hink stand right next to you. So what does that mean?
You don't have the decorum just to let it breathe. So when you said to Hink, why don't you agree with me? Means that you're not respecting him not agreeing with you and agree to disagree and have civil discourse. You know what's crazy? We all up here, we don't have to agree. Law made a solid point, which you tried to chop down at the legs. It still stood. Hink made a solid point, which stood. Because he didn't agree with you and you tried to flip the paradigm and then you ended with
did I make a solid point?
You don't have to agree.
That's what you did from the first thing that I said. You've been doing that since we've been on this.
God, what the fuck are we doing?
Man. You the main one that get triggered when somebody say something that you don't agree with.
Hey, what's the next topic?
Don't even do that,
hold
man.
on, wait. Here's the problem.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get to that question. That next question I have to ask for the panel. Do you believe black women are held to higher standards than black men in relationships?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Now, a man like Bruiser probably feel that way because he thinks all women are strong. But no, I don't believe that shit.
So now what you want to do is take what I said and apply it to all women. You see the tactics? It's very petty, but I'm gonna just take it as a petty response, bro. Because I like Hink. You know what I'm saying? Hink my dude.
Y'all,
that gooch wearing off on Hink, man. Stand
y'all
strong,
are having,
Hink.
the problem is that y'all are having
Do
two
your
different
Kegel, too.
conversations.
Shout out to the gooch.
Y'all are having two different conversations, man.
Listen, Sweetie.
Law, Kenny, and Hink were having a conversation in reference to what the woman referenced as strong. Darwin kind of segued and he provided more context on what he believed what a strong woman is. That's why y'all aren't agreeing, because y'all are having two totally different conversations about what strong is. Neither one of y'all technically wrong.
I thought we defined what we were talking about was strong already.
Well, no, because if y'all, we can say, okay, by what we're talking about. So Law was like, we're going off of what the lady said in the video. Fair. But we all know that conversations evolve. Anytime we've been on these panels, our conversations evolved into something else. Bruiser evolved the conversation into what he believed that a true strong woman is, not this pseudo strong woman, what they're describing in the video. And he made a point based off of that. So they're trying to argue his point based off of something that they believe regarding the video when he's not even having a conversation about the lady in the video. So that's why they're not agreeing.
Thank you, Sweeney.
Sweeney, he went off the
That's
video.
why I said stay on topic.
To make his whole statement. He went off the video.
Actually, I
Law
wasn't
stayed
talking.
on the video. He stayed on the video. So
he doesn't have to stay on the video.
Okay, he doesn't have to. I agree,
No.
Sweeney. You're trying so
Yeah,
hard
so
to fight everybody else.
No, I get that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to argue with Bruiser,
Allow me to finish. This is.
Go ahead.
I'll go right back to you. So if 3 men stay on the video on point, one decides to stray down the pasture, the other 3 are wrong?
No, but if you're going to argue Bruiser's points, you have to argue him based off of the position that he set, not off of what you know. If Bruiser says, this is what I believe a strong woman is, and this is what I believe strong women are attracted to, you have to, if you're going to argue what he says, you have to go off of what his premise is, which is what he believes a strong woman is.
Okay,
He's not
Sweeney,
going off
say
the
you're
video.
right. Say you're right. Why would he try to chop down Hink and say a woman with the 150,000 and the masters? What does that have to do with being a strong woman? That's the video. Law said it too. He was like, you're deviating from what we see. So we're wrong.
That's because Hank was starting to argue with Bruiser's point. He said he disagreed with Bruiser. So of course, Bruiser is going to have a problem with what Hank said, because Hank's basing his position off a totally different point. While trying to argue with Bruiser.
Tribalism is real.
Gentlemen.
But I disagreed on his point because it was based on the video. That's why I disagreed.
Did the video say that the woman that was speaking was a strong woman?
My mic working? Can y'all hear me? My mic working?
The video say the woman was a strong woman.
Can y'all hear me okay? Gentlemen, can we please move to the next question? Like, I've been listening to y'all driving home for like 45 minutes, G. Like 45 minutes. Can we move on? Y'all literally are having a conversation about the conversation now. And this is terrible for the viewers. We heard the point. Now, do you believe black women are held to a higher standard in relationships than black men? That's the question that's on the table right now. Can we get to that part?
I think
So
we all
answered
no on that one.
Yeah, I answered no.
Yeah,
So
I think we all agreed to no on that one.
Yeah, all the standards for a relationship is on men anyway.
My bad. I love y'all brothers, man.
Marcus,
My bad.
what up, bro?
I came in hot.
I
listening to y'all arguing over bullshit, man. Like,
but really, I don't think that is bullshit though, because I think that
most definitely wasn't bullshit. It was actually
I think that it's important. I think it's important for us to be able to define what it is that one appeals to be as a strong woman.
Brother, I encourage you guys to go back and watch just this segment from a viewer perspective. Take y'all are on stage, so y'all see a completely different way.
That's fair.
I promise you.
That's fair.
And JR already sent instructions, right? Like, y'all looking in the back chat, right? So we should behave accordingly. People are literally in the audience watching y'all. How we're supposed to be the example of how to conduct these conversations. So we not gonna all agree. This king talk. These are kings coming together to have discussion. We ain't gonna agree. Cool. You state your case, I state mine. We keep it moving. That's what happens.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Hey,
See, we're gonna go back to the conversation.
This conversation ain't gonna go
Too late.
good.
We already there.
Rilla, I
Back
would
to
like
the
to
strong
speak
woman
directly to
conversation.
you.
Go ahead.
Rilla,
I'm on mute.
okay, Rilla, I would like to speak directly to you. I'm gonna show you. When I tell you about tribalism, that's why the conversation's off. You understand? No matter if you don't respect me or my point and you see I lack value or worth, then you're not going to respect the points or even try to consume it and even give a good rebuttal. There's only a few gentlemen up here doing it. I know everyone can if they just get out their own way, because I think the rest of this night could be real beautiful if they put all that pettiness aside. And let's, as he said, be kings.
The fact that you had to go read your poem suggests that you're the one paying.
Y'all niggas the worst, man.
Come on, man.
Do
Like,
you believe black women are held to a higher standards than
Come
black
on,
men
dog.
in relationships? I do not think so. I don't believe that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wake this shit up. I'm gonna be the contrarian. So,
Let's go, Luis.
do you believe black women are held to a higher standard than black men? I believe yes, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Most black men don't have any standards. Gentlemen, I don't know what you've been drinking this evening, but let's be very real. Most black men don't have any standards. And if they did, most of these women would not be acting and operating the way that they would out here. Most of them won't even be in relationships. The reason why they're in relationships is because these men have lowered down their standards to hell. The bar is in hell. Let's be very honest. These black men don't have standards. There's a small pocket of them that do, but the majority do not have standards. The reason why we're operating that, like thinking, saying no, is because we're reflecting on our own internal biases, right? No, of course not. That of course men have standards. That's not true. These dudes are smashing other women's chicks. These dudes are leaving broken homes, leaving trails, not standing on business. What were the things at the top of the hour that we talked about? We talked about men who are not men, who are neglectful, who are abusive, who are inconsistent, who are careless, who lack leadership, lack principle, do not stand for something, who are not accountable, who are not good at articulating their words. Men who do not have any boundaries. Unfortunately, a lot of men out here do not have boundaries. Hanson Point goes against them having any kind of standards. Because if these men did have standards, a lot of these women would not be in relationships.
But Luis, you said black women are held to a higher standard. If the men have the bar low and they don't have standards, wouldn't there be a lower threshold for black women to meet? And if they're being held to a higher standard, who's holding them to that higher standard?
The only people who are holding those black men to some sort of standard, some fictitious standard, is other men. Because nobody's holding women to a higher standard.
Oh, okay.
They don't
No,
have an
okay.
expectation. But the way that they're operating is a much higher vibration than most men, because most men out here do not have any standards.
So you're saying
But
that
anything and everything that's off the layaway rack.
Oh, you trying to wake it up. Okay. I see what you're doing.
Just
Go ahead.
Let me ask you, so just because a man doesn't have standards don't mean he's not being held to a higher standard, though. Just because certain men don't have standards don't mean they're not held to higher standards, though.
Because that woman
we know there's going to be individuals. You said what?
I said because that woman still got standards, even if you ain't holding her to them.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the women that I know probably have higher standards than the men that I know. You know what I'm saying? To the points that was raised earlier, like we kind of, whatever's available. But women kind of got this checklist. Yeah, they kind of got this checklist. Where it's like you got.
But yeah, the
listen what I'm saying, though. Listen what I'm saying. Just because they have standards don't mean society's not holding them to it, though.
Yeah.
You understand
the
what
question
I'm
is
saying?
being held to a standard.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but at the top, okay, but hold on. At the top of the hour, there were a few things that were highlighted. We said we have a lot of men today between the ages of 18 and 35 who are not meeting the mark, who we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do between young men between the ages of 18 and 35. We're not doing too well in that department. And sort of we acknowledge that. And we also acknowledge that not all men are leaders. So again, help me understand how you come to this conclusion when we've all come to the consensus that these men are not meeting the mark, but yet they have this higher standard that they're operating. No, they don't. Because if they honestly did, and they had a backbone, and they aligned with the list of things that we were talking about at the beginning of the hour that I took notes on, a lot of those women would not be in relationships because those men would not accept the things that they are operating in.
All right,
That's
so
the reason.
I think there's some
So,
confusion here.
like I said, women don't hold other women to no standards. They won't hold them accountable. They won't hold them in any type of way. But a man, just like what Rilla did to us, he held us at a higher standard. He held us accountable and came up here and said what he said. Because we are the standard, right? This is King Talk. That's what he did to us. A woman would do that to another woman. She wouldn't say shit. She'll just let that fuckery go on and nothing be said. And like, matter of fact, she might get involved in it. She might participate in the bullshit. So they're not held to a certain standard. If me, as a man who had a divorce on his record, I failed my marriage, I'm held to a certain standard. Not my ex-wife, I am. I'm held to a certain standard. I may not even have no goddamn standard, but they're going to try to hold me to a certain standard. A woman, they're not.
How many women have to pay child support if they, fail on being a mother? How rare is that?
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Men are
Less than
always held to a
5%.
much higher standard.
But we talking about in relationships, though, right?
But I mean, that's
about-
in general. We just
No.
said,
I'm just
are they
asking.
held to higher in relationships? That's part of a failed relationship.
Well,
Okay.
I think, all right, so when we talk about being held to a standard, right? I'm going to assume that if you're held to a standard, that means you meet the marks to be in a relationship. So if we're going to say that men between the ages of 18 and 35 aren't hitting the mark, what does the number say? Are these men getting relationships, or are they all chronically single?
I mean, based on the numbers that are out there, it seems like a lot of them are single.
So
only a small percentage of them are married, and even a greater percentage of them are single. And then you have the other guys who are idling.
And then when we look at the women who are not being held to a certain standard, or if they're meeting a certain standard, are all these women chronically single, or are they all bagging a bunch of men and got a bunch of men that's beating down their door to marry them and all of this?
I mean, the reality is that there's only it's even a smaller percentage of them that are actually getting married, and a lot of them are chronically single and chronically fucking and chronically reproducing.
So, in other words, neither one of these motherfuckers are being held to both of them are technically being held to the standard, but if you don't adhere to the standard, nobody's gonna choose you.
Well, look at it this way.
I think if we're looking at it from
go ahead, Calvin.
I was going to say, if we're looking at it from apples to apples perspective, maybe it starts with the foundational mentality of who is trying to even be in a relationship.
Correct.
So if women are more relationship seeking, they might settle and have lower standards to start off with man A to be in a relationship, while looking for man B that's going to level her up and meet those higher expectations that she has, but is not meeting. While a man is not even going to probably try to get in a relationship with a woman until she meets whatever standard it is that he's seeking. So she might start off lower, but be aiming higher. And we might just have that like mid tier. And man, if I can find shorty that checks these boxes, I'm good. But until I find that, I'm not even in a relationship, definitely not no marriage. But it's just different in terms of who wants to be in a relationship versus who's trying to be in a relationship, who's avoiding that at all costs, which is usually men until they find Mrs. Right. And then who's like, man, I need to define myself by saying I have a man while I'm just dating intentionally or whatever they call it nowadays.
And then I guess we can say, I guess we can ask the question of what percentage of men and women are meeting, let's just say, the base level of relationship standards.
Yeah, because
That's
Luis
the thing.
just.
But now,
And if y'all want to, and if you want to, before we answer that question, you want to define what that is, then we could do that too.
So listen, let's look at this question right here. The question right now: do we believe Black women are held to higher standards than Black men? Right, in relationships. So in a relationship, when you get in a relationship with a woman, as a man, a Black man, what are you expected to do in order to be that man? What do they expect out of us?
Provision.
Right?
Provide, protect.
Right?
Yeah.
What do we expect out of them? What do they have to do? Just shut up. Fuck and cook. You know what I'm saying? Those are the standards they're held to. We have to do everything, right? We are expected to do everything. And if you're not doing this, you ain't shit, right? A man is only loved by what he can do. It's conditional, right? It's very conditional. So that's why I say, yes, we are held to a much higher standard because everything is on us. If the marriage fails, whose fault is it? We ain't do something right. You dig what I'm saying?
But
we get kicked out on the street. You ain't do something, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, let's keep it real.
No,
but I will just caveat that and say I don't think it's
conditional on both sides, though.
I don't think it's fucking shut up to be in a relationship. I think it's fucking shut up to have relations with them. That don't mean we in a relationship though.
Yeah, and I would say that it's conditional on both sides, because if they're not doing those things, then we're not going to be in a relationship with them.
But who's the higher standard, Viz? That's what I'm saying. Who has to do the most work? That's the higher standard. All we expect is for a woman to be kind and be submissive and chill. That's what a woman can do to be the best type of woman for a man. Be supportive, chill out, don't nag me. Cook if I need you to. You know what I'm saying? Those are the minimums, right?
But are most men meeting that standard? Whatever that standard is that we all define and come to understand.
The question wasn't if we're meeting
we never done that, Luis.
So where does the line begin?
We never created the line, Luis. That's the problem. Everybody is disjointed, and everybody coming in from their own anecdotal and subjective point of view, their own perspective. So what we could do is we can either talk about what we can agree, we can come to a consensus on what a standard is, or we can just listen to each other and allow us to give our own perspective of what we think standards is and answer the question. And Marcus. Well, damn, I was talking so and I had
my bad. Read the back chat.
Asshole.
Read the back chat.
Who's you acting hurt tonight, man? What's up with
go
you,
ahead,
dog?
Go ahead, Marcus.
God,
hey, listen, I'm not an asshole. Go ahead, M. White.
No, you got to bruise it. I was just responding back in the back chat. So you keep going. Thank you, Swing. But keep going, bro.
No, all I was gonna do is say that women, in my perspective, from what I see, women are holding men to higher standards. Now, these standards, they may not always be justified, but it's evident that these women are in business of having unrealistic standards. And this can be proven. I think somebody tried to look it up. This can be proven by simply looking up statistics on those who walk away from marriages because a specific standard is not being withheld. It ain't got nothing to do with the man having no standards. It's all about women empowering themselves every year so that they can feel good about making men measure up. That's the whole goal. To figure out how we can swing the pendulum to our way and switch it up to where men have to measure up to us. We create standards. We create systems and we force the men to fit into them. This is the modern way, or this is postmodern way. The traditional way was men had the standards. Women didn't have no damn standard.
Men got his standards from his principles. His principles came from the Bible. The Bible came from God. And women, if they are to be submissive, they didn't question, they didn't push back, they wasn't combative. He lined out what the standards were, and then they worked towards that. It wasn't her, oh, what about my own no, she didn't have her own. They became one, they became one unit. And they just worked together, they cooperated, they stayed down with each other. That's how it used to be. But now everybody is scattered on where they come from, what their backgrounds is, what they believe in, what do they walk by. So now you got two different people that's fighting compatibility. So now we got to figure out who's going to bend, who's going to compromise. And if you compromise to a woman, then you gotta adhere to her standards.
Not
I guess that kind of,
discussed.
yeah, I was gonna say, I guess that kind of walk us into the next question. Can women who are self-sufficient find happiness with men who earn less? Because if men are conforming in the way you saying, then that will put them, what is it, the strong woman, y'all, a strong woman, an alpha woman or whatever, find the man, and then he conforms to her, it fits into her system. I definitely don't think that's a good idea. I think that's a terrible fucking idea. But I think that it boils down to how you define masculinity. And I keep saying this, there's no masculine job that says, hey, we pay you more for masculinity. Like, I'm just going, the person with the most masculinity make the most money in the world based off of how finances is set up. It does not work that way. It's Oprah ain't masculine. She make more money than all. You know what I'm saying? So
But
if finances,
is Oprah aggressive? Can we?
She was in the
Can we
color
say that?
purple.
Can we
Wait,
say that she was aggressive in the way that she conducts business? Because the only way that you're going to make more money.
I've never done business with Oprah, but I would assume she's a business woman. I wouldn't say she's extremely aggressive. She not DMX around this one.
I'm not. See, and I think that's what.
But hold on, man. Let me just get it all out.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Pause. Right to you. Yeah. Pause. Super pause. Yeah. So what I was saying was that there's no such thing as a masculinity that you get paid more for being more masculine. So based off of that, if you provide masculinity to the relationship, then I think you can be in a relationship with a woman who earn more and then not detour the gender roles as far as how y'all interact with each other. It's a book called The Way of the Superior Man that talk about how masculine energy and feminine energy interact, and it has nothing to do with finances or actually strength. The way they interact comes into a power dynamic, and that power dynamic usually works where the masculine energy, which is the stronger person, dictates and directs how the energy flows, and then the feminine energy fits into that, and they move forward the right way. So you got.
Well, I disagree with your. I agree with your concepts and how you articulate it, but it's specifically, and I can give you context. I think that women who are self-sufficient can find happiness with men who earn less. I think more often than not, you might run into women who earn just as much as you and more sometimes. And it's nothing, the numbers in the bank account don't define your ability to be compatible. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make a man less of just because he don't earn as much as you. He might have endured some hiccups in life where he kind of got set back, or he just might have passion or appreciation for a particular trade or occupation that doesn't necessarily measure up to the same amount of salary as she does. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make them incompatible. And then whenever you talk about happiness, you got to actually dive into that. Because if you're saying that she can't find happiness because he earned less, basically what you're saying is women happiness is predicated on his ability to earn more than her. Solely that. Like nothing else can offset that. So then we have to dive into what happiness is.
That is a pretty big issue.
We've seen it in real life with Ebony K. She didn't want to no man that
really?
was.
Well, the thing is the question is, can women who are self-sufficient find happiness with men who earn? Yes, as long as the earning potential or earning is a hard line for women, they will never find it. Can they? Yes, because to Bruce's point, there's more to a man than just how much he earns. But if women in general cannot get past how much a man earned, and no, they would never find happiness with a man that earns less.
Hold on, Chicago. Let me
majority,
let me pull up. Hold on. I'm gonna let you go, Chicago. I'm gonna pull one of Kenny's petty ass shits. So Marcus, just to stamp and put icing on the cake on my point, I'm gonna pull one of Kenny's point tactics. And this is a question for you, Mike. And I want you to stand on your point, stand on what you stood for. If a woman makes $110,000 a year, are you telling me that she can't find happiness in a man who makes $90,000?
No, my point was that she can find happiness with a man who makes less, and it wasn't it wasn't centered around money.
I misheard.
It was centered around masculine energy. I never make. That's why I was making the point that masculinity don't have a financial reward directly. Like you're the most masculine man, so you're the richest man. That was the point I was making.
Right.
My daughter came in, so I might have got to jump.
My bad, Kenny.
I agree with you.
But we did we not say the first
but
thing?
in 2020, but in 2024, is that what they doing?
Because the first thing we said was a man had to provide.
Yeah, these things, they're not accepting that bullshit. They're not accepting no man who's making less than them. They're not accepting that. So can they find it? Yeah, they can find it.
But the question,
possibility over probability.
The question is can.
So,
Can
gentlemen. Wait, gentlemen.
I don't think nobody's saying they can't. But will they?
Wait. Let's reset it just really quick, gentlemen, please.
Okay, buddy.
Can they? We know that's elementary, dude. Like we know they can. Like anything is possible. The question is nuance. It's kings up here talking, dog. Like let's have the conversation. You know what I mean? Like let's have the conversation. This question is so nuanced. It's not just the woman makes 110 and the man makes 90 and she can't find happiness with him, right? We talk about so many things in this space, right? We talk about happiness is an emotion, it's a feeling, it's fleeting. Can a woman find? Yeah, she can. Is that happening? Absolutely not. Because we know with the higher income that she has, more times than not, and especially if she's self-sufficient. So now we're talking about that strong Black independent woman, right? And then we also know there's education levels that come with that, right? Then also, when you think about that, some of you guys could probably attest to this. Your woman the woman that's in a particular type of tax bracket, she's wanting the man that she takes to these parties, these company functions, to be on a certain level and so on certain par with her. Now, you think she's finding happiness in taking this man to a gala, a black tie event, and everybody's going around talking and bragging about what they do? Right? Like, what? I actually think she can.
Depending on the woman.
I also think
Okay.
So now is that happening?
Can I chime in?
They have male escorts.
How you
right?
changing the
Just
goal?
Can I chime in?
Don't do that.
Just saying.
Really, what
Go
you
ahead.
just did, was kind of you went back on us being able to have the actual conversation, because the statement you just made just kind of shut down the points that Darwin M. White was essentially making. Because I do agree. I think that there are women that's doing it. I've worked personally with I forgot shorty name, but she owns Mael. They just sold it for $640 million. You know what I'm saying? That's her check, not her husband. But they've been married. But they've been married happily for years. Decades. Type of deal. So I think when we let me finish talking, please. I've been quiet. So I think when we minimize the potential, the fact that this is happening, if this is King's talk, right? We going back to this being King's talk. So if this is King's talk and you can see and you carry yourself as a king, and you just so happen to come across a queen that's checking the bag, you won't feel intimidated by that. You won't go back and be like, damn, Hank, Rilla, and Kenny, they all told me that this can't happen. This is a lifestyle that I can't have when this motherfucker's out there experiencing it.
Law, just really quick, and then you got it, bro. So again, right? We get into this stuff where we saying some, right? I'm speaking in generalities. I know there's a minority. I ain't saying it's not happening, bro. What you're talking about is a small percentage of people that's doing it. The question is not, and what we're talking about is not whether can it happen for some. Will it happen for the majority of men?
Yes,
No.
it can.
Oh, it'll have.
If men
No.
conduct themselves as men, come on now. If men conduct themselves as men, if men conduct themselves as kings and has the confidence in themselves, then why the fuck won't it happen?
Because
Why
you're
wouldn't
So
delusional.
look, I want
That's
to
the
respond to that. I
problem.
want to respond
why
to that because I
wouldn't
waited.
why would
You are
not a female
Hold
delusional.
on, because I'm going to tell you why.
let
You
why
asked me
would
the
a
question, I'll
female
tell you
not
why.
submit to a man, to a king that has proven himself in
Everybody
what
ain't
it
a
is that
king,
he
brother.
do?
Here's the thing: everybody's not a king. First off, you got to realize that. Secondly,
But
we hear women
we're
talk
on
about it.
King's
Hold
Talk
on.
though.
No. You asked me to let you talk. Now let me run. Right. So look, you got to remember, bro. We see it all the time. You ask women. Let's say the good brother Kevin Samuels just always asks them, "Do you want to have to work after you have kids?" What do they all say? Right? It's always going to be no, because a woman naturally doesn't want to have to. So when she's the breadwinner, how do those women usually treat the man that she's in a relationship with? If she's the breadwinner, usually, not saying in these one-off neat situations, not the minority, we're saying for the vast majority. We already know that they
those are weak
leave
men.
marriages at 70%, at a 70% plus clip. We already know that, right? So in those scenarios, they're not the breadwinner most of the time. So when they are, how do you think that changes the dynamic of that relationship?
Can
We're
we
saying,
agree?
can they be happy? Absolutely, they can. But is it the main thing that usually happens? No.
Can we agree? Wait, hold on, Marcus. Can we agree that those men that experience that are weak men?
Not necessarily. It don't take nothing for you. You can be the man your whole time in your marriage, and somebody get a promotion or whatever the case may be, and now that dynamic shifts, right? And now you're looked at as less than. That don't make him weak because she got lucky or whatever the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Is all I'm telling you.
That sounds like a weak
Yeah,
man.
but Viz,
If you're a strong man
but
in
Viz,
that position, it shouldn't matter if you fall off. If you fall off, break your leg,
I
lose
didn't
your
say he
job.
fell off though. I didn't say he fell off.
we also need to.
He probably. Go ahead, Hank.
But Viz, we also need to realize that the mental thing with that power and that money brings to them, it's a mental thing for them. Do you realize how crazy they think they control the world just because I make more money than you? It's a mental thing for them. So now they go in and they the boss chicks at work. They doing all. You think that shit turns off like a goddamn light? No, they gonna bring that same boss bitch mentality to the house with her. I'm making more money than you. I control you. Shit. I'm making this house payment. You ain't making these house payments. I am. You barely got enough money to pay for the homeowner's insurance on it. So you don't think
all y'all did. Hold on real quick.
No, man. First of all, I wasn't done, Darwin. So you don't think that's a mentality that's gonna kick in on with these women? It is. So now a man's got to deal with that. You gonna call him a weak man because he has to deal with that?
So
that's lame, Viz. That's lame.
So
hold on,
Hank,
Viz. Let me interrupt so it don't seem like it's just you and everybody else talking. And you can go after me, brother.
For sure.
All respect.
For sure.
Y'all are dangerous with this topic, man. Everybody who's saying that this, you agree. First, you say that this can happen, but that's not what's happening. And y'all trying to figure out all these ways where it won't work out. You're just giving women ammo to not be able to hold themselves accountable. Because you got to understand, at some point, women are going to have to figure out how to deal with men who earn less. And society is gravitating into a culture where women are going to even a playing field as far as work and salary at some point. So it's important that we as kings, if we're going to call ourselves kings, to make this popular. We need to make women, we need to motivate and promote the fact that they can be self-sufficient and running a man who earn less and still find happiness. The fact that we're not making this thing a popular thing and we keep discounting, we're just giving these women the room to use excuses that they might not even thought of. They're out here looking at this shit like, damn, yeah, my mentals don't even work right. No, motherfucker, make your mentals work right. If you want this shit to work, if you want to be a wife, if you want to end this fucking epidemic on single mother households and making babies out of the wedlock, you better get with the damn program because that's how it's going to happen. So we need to make this thing a popular thing instead of trying to discount it because a woman has a specific side of her brain that don't allow her to intelligently cope with the fact that she can be with a man who still encompasses the values that make up for other things in a relationship to make it thrive. We got to get away from that if we're gonna call ourselves kings. And I rest my case.
But Darwin, everybody's not going to make it. Everybody is not going to make it.
That don't mean we got to hold our stand. That don't mean we got to hold the line.
Let them heifer suffer. Let them heifer suffer and miss out. And let the women who got some goddamn sense about them. That's what it sounds like you doing.
No, I'm saying we still got to.
Nobody's saying
you can let them whole suffer. You can let them heifer suffer, but we can still promote the fact that a woman who's self-sufficient can be with a man who earns less and still let them suffer.
We know she can.
Two things
bro.
can be true at one time.
So
I'm not saying that you can.
We know I could go out here and win the lottery tomorrow. We know what she can.
Y'all just talk about changing the
Calvin.
question. Y'all just talked about changing the question earlier, and then y'all gonna change it now.
So Don, we're not saying that they can't, man. But like I said, it's a mental thing with them. When they get that power, when they get them opportunities, and when they make that money, it's a mental thing. They feel like they're above the law. They're not trying to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, but that don't mean that they can. That don't mean.
Hold on, let him get his full thought out. Hold on. Y'all brothers, we gotta let people finish their full thought. You'll have plenty of time to rebuttal. We supposed to be this is like an exercise in discipline. You know, just wait your turn.
So,
just really quick. Hink's gonna finish his full thought, then Calvin's gonna jump in there. He had a thought to share. Then, Bruce, if you want to. Oh, Luis. All right.
So we see too many situations where we'll see these women getting these opportunities, getting these jobs, getting these titles, and they're not looking to go backwards. And they feel like if I'm getting a man who's making less than me, I'm going backwards. I'm settling. They're not trying to settle. We see women not even make as much men who are demanding and expecting women with 4 kids. Man, my wife showed me some shit on Kendra G. Woman got 4 kids by 4 different men, and she still want a man who makes over $200,000. What type of shit is that? But that's what they want. Why? Because that's their expectations. Now, I'll be damned if I take a man who's just making $75,000 to $80,000. They don't want that. They want that man who's making way above their means and knowing they can't. They never live a lifestyle like that, but that's what they expect. I'll rest my case. Go ahead, brother. Brother Calvin.
All good, man. Respect to everybody that, chimed in, man. And I definitely can share in those different perspectives. If I'm reading the question at the bottom correctly, it says, can women who are self-sufficient find happiness, not relationships, but happiness with men who earn less? And while it probably doesn't happen this often yet, to the brother's point earlier, we got to get ready for this paradigm shift because at the end of the day, as women continue to catch brothers in terms of their earning potential and probably exceed them, and it might happen in our community first and foremost before the general population, we also as men got to get ready for these affluent women to not necessarily want to be in a relationship or not necessarily want to be married and want to be able to deal with multiple men, equal earners or less, and be able to have their cake and eat it too, like we've been doing for decades and generations and all that. So that's the little extra piece I wanted to put in there, is that a woman's happiness might not be tied to a relationship going forward.
Can women who are self-sufficient find happiness with men who earn less? What happened? What was that, Marcus?
Good shit, Calvin.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I read this title and I'm just gonna say this. I think a lot of women today have too much power. Women today have a lot of power. They have a lot of power. They have a lot of influence. They, much educated, well-rounded, etc. And sort of, they're not going to be willing to relinquish that. So this idea of like wanting a leader, it's more like having a spearhead. Most women out here are really looking for a submissive provider. That's really what they're looking for, is a submissive provider. Most women out here are looking for a submissive provider. What does that look like? That looks like a guy who will allow them to do whatever they want, operate as if they were single, but he still pays bills. He still, you know what I'm saying, takes her out and do these other things. However, she still operates the way she wants because she has money. She's not bounded by the principles of the relationship. She's more bounded by her money because she has more money than him. Or maybe, let's say, for example, she makes 300K, he makes 150. Doesn't really matter, right? She's more bounded by the power that money has over her, right? Not the principles of the relationship in creating something that's foundationally. It's just more about the leverage. And sort of she wants or is going to look for a guy who could still provide at some capacity, right? But also allow her to operate how she wants to, whenever she wants to. She wants to take that girl trip, she's gonna take that girl trip. So honestly, I think most women are really looking for a submissive provider, especially the ones who are, you know, making a lot of money, right? Those are not really looking for, you know, men within their own caliber at times. So
I got a quick question, and I wanted to ask this to Hank before he walked away. So I'll ask
Yeah,
Law.
might as well wait.
So Law, if let's say you make, all right, and Hank, this is to both of you guys. So let's say you make $50,000 more than your wife, and your wife comes home and says, "Babe, I got a raise for $100,000, right? And this $100,000 raise is going to have her making the most money out of the household." Is your wife going to now abuse and take power in the position because she now makes more than you?
Not necessarily my wife, but we're not talking about what can happen. We're saying a majority, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right,
talking
but
about
just
look.
just
I'm
wait,
removing myself
no,
from it.
wait, bro. Just answer the yes or no.
I said no, not my wife.
Okay, Hank, yes or no?
No, sir.
Absolutely. So that goes back to my point of where if you have already established yourself as the man and the king of your household, then that's the very thing that you guys are talking about will not happen. So the
You're talking
only
about
way,
to
let me
us,
finish,
though.
bro. Let me finish. The only way that would happen is if that man is a weak man. Do you consider yourself to be weak men?
No,
That is
but
shitty.
that has to do with, we talk about a single man, a single woman trying to find a man. That's what we're talking about, though, Viz.
Yeah. So
No, we're talking about a woman who
I'm
met
going
a
off of
man less and they got in a relationship.
I'm going off of the example that Hank used.
Well, I'm going off of the question. Once again, I'm trying to stick on topic, bro.
Right.
The woman who is
staying on topic.
self-sufficient
We're
find
staying on topic,
happiness
but that
with
was
a man who earns less. And my whole thing on that was, yes, she can. However, the vast majority of that is not happening because we see it all the time. The way it changes the dynamic within the household, the way a woman decides to treat a man.
Right. So if you're saying in the household, then that means that y'all are in a relationship and or marriage, right? That's what you just said. I'm literally going off of what the context and of what it is that you guys said. So
So I thought you was going.
there's a
I thought you was going
that whole thing.
Because if you're going off base for what I was saying, I'm talking about a woman who's looking to find a mate. That's who I was talking about. When I gave the example of somebody being on Kendra G, they're a single person looking for with a woman with 4 baby fathers looking for a $250,000 man. That's what I'm basing mine off. Somebody single looking for a mate, not somebody who's in a relationship. All of a sudden, their wife started earning more than them. That's something totally different. I wasn't talking about that.
Exactly.
But that was an example that you used, though, Hank.
Yeah. The problem with that is
I don't think I get. But
they're correct. But most You gotta understand, most of the men on this panel actually like coach other men on how to conduct relationships and stuff. So it's a horrible example, right? When you look at who's actually married, most women actually aren't getting married. That's the problem. You got 28% right now, just about that. So that's the minority that are even marriageable according to how men are behaving, right? A lot of men are opting out because most of these women like Hank wife or I forgot who else you mentioned. I guess Law, right? Or it's not like them. That's not the typical woman. That's atypical. That's not the common example that we see. And that's what Law's trying to explain to you. Like, we understand that it could be an instance where there is a weak man, but it could be an unruly woman. Like that's the main problem with that. So go ahead, Marcus. What you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say to support what Viz was trying to say, because I get where you're coming from. He's saying that the way, because I don't think it would happen to anybody on the panel that's married, actually, that their wife could make more money than them and they still would remain in the exact same position. Because he's saying the parameters of who you are as a man dictate how the relationship flow, not the finances. And based off of that, if you allow parameters to change the dynamics of the relationship, it means that the only reason she was in this relationship is with you for money. And that tends to be the sign of a weaker person, because you have to pay for the attention and pay to keep somebody around you. But in the sense where you actually were valuable as a person, as your masculinity was valuable, what you provide to the relationship, including the money, is valuable. Without the money, it still would be valuable, so the dynamic would not change. Right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You would say that. That's a whole bunch of word salad to save you from yourself.
If we are talking
now,
about,
wait a minute. Let another voice.
I'm talking.
Let
Kendra, hold
another
on. Give me a
voice
second, Kendra.
touch. You just wanted to agree with him.
Kendra, give me a second, man. I'm still talking,
you're
man.
my guy.
So look, if we are on King's Talk right now, we're kings. We're promoting the men that are listening to become kings, to be kings, to conduct themselves as kings. So if that is what we're doing, then that's the people that we're talking to. Those kings presumably want to be in a relationship. They want to get married. They want to have a family, right? They want to have a generation to come after them. So if that's what we're talking about, then that's the focus that we should be.
No. I see where you're going in. We're not going to do the slick talk. We're going to allow decorum to happen, and you're not going to take no underlying stab. You were wrong. You got off the topic. Everybody addressed it like you
I'm
got
not
off
off
the other
topic. I'm talking about the topic.
He wished to exalt you for not paying attention to the topic and changing the whole paradigm of the conversation.
I'm talking about the topic.
Okay, so
this
now
is the very topic.
when law says the majority of women that are self-sufficient are not picking up men that make less than them. We already seen the video at the beginning of this panel. Those are those women. The majority of them will not pick us up because they stick with their standards. Look at Ebony K. Williams. Look at Angela Rye. What's the other one? Vivica Fox. Look how old she is. Still trying to find something because she had high standards. You understand? It's obvious. You speak about outliers. Outliers don't win in this game. The majority of them get cats, just like KS said. Cats and dogs and die alone. Those with those certain type of standards, you can't change the paradigm. If you put Law in the house with his wife and then she come up and make another 6 figures, they clapping. Good for us. The standard ain't gonna change. The lifestyle will. They'll be able to do more things. They're afforded to, but that does not change how she will see her husband because it's already established.
Any
following what it says. Can women who are
self-sufficient
find happiness with men who earn less?
Kings don't go after Ebony K type women.
Okay, so
that's
can women
you're trying
who are self-sufficient, I will be done right now, find happiness with men who earn less? On a majority scale, no.
Y'all are answering the question in two different ways. One group is talking about what is, and one group is talking about the question as a I guess a word of advice, so to speak, or something like that. I get what Law, Hank, and Kenny are talking about. They're basically answering the question at face value. Can women? Well, based off the numbers, they're not. But can women who are self-sufficient find happiness with men who they out earn? Yes. If you were to talk to a woman and you're sitting there, if you were to talk to a woman and she says, matter of fact, here's some bullshit right here. I just came across this on my Instagram. A woman said, "How do I tell my husband that he is no longer good enough for me? I got fit, I got promoted. There are a dozen men at my work that are better looking, driving better cars, stay in larger homes that have manifested interest in me. I decided I deserve more and better." So this is a woman that found a way to become better than her husband. What advice would you give that woman?
Talking about a woman who found who based the fact that the next man is better based off of his frivolousness. So I would tell it. You ask, hold on. You said what advice would we give that woman?
Yeah. Take the callousness out of it. Take the callousness.
I would say if you're gonna vacate your marriage for this next man, do it at your own peril. And then I would ask her. I would follow that up with a question and said, "What's stopping you from doing that to this man when you get in a marriage with him and you level up to the next position and out earn him? And the next man is looking at you that has more things than him. Are you gonna do this again? Because then you can really find out whether that's truthful or not." She might be using that as an excuse. That's what I'm saying. You got to understand how women try to finesse. They be using that as an excuse because there's other things and underlying things in a marriage that they don't like or that's unsettling to them. So they use that as a catalyst for them to maneuver from one man to the next. And if we keep sitting here promoting that, that's how they innately think. We giving them fuel. We giving them a way to dodge the accountability from staying down. That's all I'm saying.
So basically,
what man's promoting that? I don't think no man's promoting that.
You're indirectly promoting it when you say that it's a trait or characteristic that they innately have.
The truth, bro.
We just seeing what we speaking what we see.
We see that. We see that because you have engineered this as popularity.
No, Bruiser, that's not Bruiser. That's not what he's doing.
You gotta understand there's two things happening at one time. You got people making it popular. Just because it's bad behavior don't mean it's acceptable. What makes it acceptable is making it popular, and then people say, okay, this is a norm. So yeah, typically women are gonna maneuver from man to man because of hypergamy.
No, Bruiser.
You're we're saying what we see from the facts, bro. From the stats, the data, the statistics, like we see this every day, bro.
I'm saying, but the example he used was from Kendra G.
Oh, y'all, let Sweeney finish. Sweeney, I know Sweeney was running this one. Go ahead, Sweeney.
So the thing is that again, y'all are having two different conversations, Bruiser. They're having a conversation because they're answering the question as is what is going on. You're answering the question from a philosophical standpoint of how should we be discussing this going forward? Should we be telling women that you cannot find happiness in a man that you earn more than? So I get that you're arguing from that perspective. They're just simply saying, hey, we're answering the question straight up. Do we see women that are satisfied with the men that they out earn? No, we do not. But you're arguing it from the perspective of how do we discuss it with those women that do out earn their men? You in a relationship, you with your husband, you get a promotion. And now you feeling some type of way about your man out earning your man. What kind of conversation are you supposed to have with that woman? That's the position I get where you're coming from, Bruce, is, hey, maybe you can find happiness. Like your happiness shouldn't be predicated on how much he earns in your life.
So I understand what you're saying now. So my only question to you, Sweeney, is how does the conversation look when she run into the next man? What is her excuse for leaving the man that was fine?
So if we were discussing like specifically this woman in this post that I talked about, right? If we were talking about a woman that was talking about how she's about to leave her man because she got a better job and she went to go work out for half a day and now all of a sudden her body's better and she's being attracted to a number of other dudes that she think is better than her man. The conversation I would have with her is, you pick that man. You don't get to walk away from your marriage. You don't get to walk away from your relationship because you think there are greener pastures. I would expect that we would argue this from the same standpoint that a pastor will have a conversation with a couple that is having problems.
So we're talking about women who are not submissive.
I would argue, yeah, that's the
So,
type
so,
of
so
women
that
that would
means
do
y'all,
this shit would be
that
that type
means
of
y'all
woman.
painted the demographic for the women that we're talking about in this particular topic of women who aren't submissive. So out of respect for women who are submissive, we have to kind of draw contrast, because if we lump them all in one category, then we're being very toxic on this kind
We
of
never
this
did that.
conversation.
We never
They,
did that.
they
We
didn't do
gave
that, Bruce.
we gave
But basically,
majority,
you
minority.
did kind of do that,
That's what
because
we
you're
did.
basically saying that all of the women that we're talking about in this topic is predisposed to not being submissive.
No, we're talking about the
We were
majority.
talking about generalities.
So
Like,
so now you're saying the majority of women is not submissive.
I actually stated a percentage.
Yes.
So we you know, that's
So now you got to
You got a percentage
fact check
of how
that.
many women are or aren't submissive. How do we gauge that?
We're not gonna let you
They
do
did a
that.
poll.
You changed the
And that's
word
the
to
dangerous part about it, because we don't even.
we
I
never
don't even
said-
think
we
we have
never
that
said
data.
that.
Well,
So,
no,
just
that's what
really
you just
quick.
said. That's what you just said,
really
Trev.
quick,
You
Viz.
just said that you had the numbers, and Darwin just mentioned submission, women that are submissive, and then you said that the majority and that you have the numbers.
Okay.
I think he was giving his estimate.
There's a woman.
How do we gauge how many women are submissive or not?
It's probably unquantifiable.
You see what you're doing? You're trying to parse off what can save the argument that you're making. That's delusional.
I'm not part. It's having a conversation. That's what adults
Because
do, Kendra.
Here's the thing. Hink law, we said the majority. We gave a dynamic. We didn't say all, like Bruiser said. But he went again and said, we said all. And then we told him, no, we didn't. The majority of women that are in this place, just like the beginning video, they don't settle. They have high demands, and they don't look for men that earn less. The woman said, if I make $150,000 and I have a master's, I'm looking for a man at my level or more. Did she not say that?
What you also did said she got into the relationship, and then she out earned him and out leveled him, and she vacated for the next man that was better.
So let's address that. That's the dynamic that Viz put in.
I think
he's
Sweeney
saying that Law's wife. Yeah. We're using Law. If Law's wife come home and say, "Honey, boss gave me 100,000 more," he's assuming the dynamic would change within his household.
That
Law said,
what they
who's assuming that? Who's assuming that?
That was the example that they used. That was what came out of their mouth.
Definitely didn't use that one, bro. We were talking
man.
to Viz. That wasn't just the one that wasn't what we used. We're saying in general, the way the numbers work out from what we always see is when a woman is the bigger breadwinner, so to speak, it affects her much differently than it does when the man is. And when you look at all the research, you can easily see that it has a negative effect on that relationship. So going back to it, can a woman that is self-sufficient find happiness with men who earn less? The answer is yes, she can. But what is the probability? Possibility, yes. But probability, what do the numbers say? That's it.
So then that would mean that if in any of our situation, that if our woman one day got $100,000 raise, more often than not, she's gonna fall in the category of.
Come on, man.
Is your woman self?
Come on,
so
man.
is your woman
God
self-sufficient
damn.
or interdependent?
I would argue that we're interdependent.
Right. Again, the question is self-sufficient. That's the caveat. Also, you guys made a point about women. We have to prepare for this paradigm of women out earning men. Do you know who they just calculated as the next group of millionaires in this country? What career path?
I think it was plumbers and electricians.
Yeah. So again, we talking king talk, and for some reason we tend to spin this around holding women accountable and getting the women together, and there's plenty enough to go around for that, man. But we got to get these young bloods, man. That's who I would rather focus my time and energy on, man. I'm not overly concerned with what these heifers is doing. Like King said, man, leave them heifers at the restaurant, man. If
to you guys' point, if you are familiar with Fawn Weaver, you know Fawn Weaver that took Uncle Nearest to a $1 billion valuation in less than 10 years. Her husband works for the brand. She's the breadwinner in that scenario. If you ever hear her speak about her husband, she serves that man. She's highly submissive, speaks of him highly. But is Fawn Weaver the majority or minority of representation of women in that space and at that level?
But Rilla, my point of
wait,
the pushback.
wait, that was a question.
That was a question.
Of clearly it's the minority.
Okay. Go ahead, bro.
The point of my pushback is the simple fact that kings are the minority. So if we are speaking to kings, for us to place a seed of doubt or insecurity and going out to potentially approach a woman that earns more than them, or to make it so that they feel not confident in putting their foot down just because their woman makes more than them. I think that's a problem, and that's why I'm giving the pushback that I'm giving.
But nobody has argued that. But nobody has argued that point about somebody not being confident to approach a woman that earns more than him. I think what's been highlighted is this is what tends to happen with women like that. They tend, again, I said earlier, right? The education piece, right? That's a factor. The person that's earning, 6 figures plus, and especially these women tend to be in corporate jobs, right? They're not like necessarily in STEM or whatever. So there's galas, there's functions that go with that, right? They like to show up with their man looking a certain way. We would give it more or less cautionary. We weren't saying, bro, we know cats shoot they shot all the time. We know somebody pointed out the Pookies and Ray Rays that's dating lawyers and attorneys and doctors and nurses. So we know what's possible, but to Law's point, what is probable? And that's the conversation I think we should be having.
And I think to add, Viz, is that whether a man is weak or not has nothing to do with whether a woman can find the discussion of whether women can find happiness with a man that they out earn, because that's all on her. It has nothing to do with the man. So she's not, if her not putting up with a man that she out earned has nothing to do with whether the man is weak or not. That falls on the woman themselves because they can't find happiness in the man that they out earn. Has nothing to do with him. He cool. He chilling. My wife, damn, she done went and got a job. She done, or if a dude out there hollering at a chick, she fine. She got her head on straight. You know what I mean? She ain't got no kids. She got a good job. And I got me a good job. I don't care that she makes $100,000 a year. That's a good woman. But if she can't get past the fact that he doesn't earn $100K, that's not a him problem. That's a her problem.
Let's go get Marcus in there, y'all. Let's get Marcus in there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Law, when we did the in-person pod and they was talking about this, a lot of the women was saying the issue wasn't with so they essentially was all agreeing, and it was a crowd full of people agreeing with them that the issue was that no matter how much money they make, they can make the man feel less than because he used his masculinity was tied to his finances, and kind of similar to the you don't want to be the first bad bitch and they could get argument. He start acting differently based off of her earning more, which changed the dynamic within the relationship. To jump back to Viz's point, so I think that the dynamic between how you are as a man and where your strength comes from, it's important, because if your sole purpose is just finance, that can easily be replaced, and that's back to the point earlier. That's why it would appear to be weak, because based off of that, you provide no other value other than just being a paycheck. And once you can pay, it's like what's the purpose of having you?
Right.
You get what
and maybe to add more
And
context to my perspective is that.
Hold on, Viz.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to respond to him. So, right, bro. And remember what we told what we told them at that point too was it's not about the man, it's the way he is treated from the woman. You dig what I'm saying? They don't look how much respect do you garner when they feel like they're doing your job? You know what I'm saying? That's where the disconnect would come from. Yeah, I could still be me and my masculinity, but if you think you're gonna talk to me this way or treat me this way or call these shots because your paycheck got bigger, then now that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes, that's when that dynamic does shift. It doesn't matter how he perceives it. It's how does she treat him when that does happen. And a lot of times we can do a poll and ask women, how do you feel if you make more than your man? He can't tell you nothing. You can't say this. You can't do that. Like, we see it all the time. That's what I'm referring to.
The only way that will happen is if there's a lack, that man is that woman feels as if that man is lacking in something. If the woman feels that this man is lacking in whatever area, then that's when she's going to be more aggressive or treat him like a pushover or whatever the case may be. I'm literally gauging my perspective off of me knowing multiple $1 million women. You know what I'm saying? And the majority of those women, the thing that they say is simply that most men are intimidated by how much they make, and that shows up in the relationship.
It's something to do with him lacking.
Hold on. It's something y'all missing. Hold on, I waited. It's something y'all missing too. When y'all talk about the women who are being polled on these topics or in these numbers, you got to understand that these women that's coming out on the media and you seeing these women in these clips and these videos, oftentimes, or even most of the time, or probably all the time, the women who saying these statements, making these statements, like, oh no, I'm not submitting to a man that earn less than me. I'm not being. Their current status is not even a relationship. They're not even with a man. I want, if anybody want to challenge me on that, bring me the video where a woman is sitting next to her man saying that, or is in a relationship, and everybody knows she's in a relationship, and she's going out on the record in public saying, I'm not gonna be with my man if I level up over him. That ain't what you hearing. You hearing motherfuckers who's single and they not worthy of marriage. They not in a relation. See, what y'all doing is pay attention to these damn heathens. And y'all promote y'all, and that's what I told you about indirectly promoting bad behavior. You don't think you're doing it, but you promote it as a normal
to the majority, bro.
Hold on, wait. You promoting it. You don't know you're promoting it, but that's what you're doing. I'm just telling you. And then one thing about this, I know this is King talking. I know every brother assert themselves in a space and do what they want. But you can sit here and talk about how you target kids or the young brothers all you want. You still got to address these women that's out of order too. And you can't knock the people that's creating platforms to speak to both parties, because whether you like it or not, you got to talk to both if you want to get some shit done. And you best damn well focus on women, because you need to be aware of how they move and how they use cunning tactics and manipulate men out of their shit. And I rest my case.
So Dow, that's not, as a man, that's not our job to focus on the women. The elder women should be focusing on the women. That's who need to be talking to the women. That's who need to be educating these women and training these women. If you want these certain results, if you want to get a man, if you want to get a husband, then you need to be moving this way or that way. You need to be doing this and not that. But look, like I said, it's a mental thing for you.
That's totally wrong. If a woman want to be a husband, if a woman want to be a wife to a man,
I didn't interrupt you, dog. I didn't interrupt you, dog. No, I did not interrupt you, dog. I did not interrupt you, brother. Come on, man. So yes, elder women should be teaching these younger women. Elder men should be teaching the younger men. That's how it should be done. These women are not listening to you, dog. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Women are not listening to these men. They're not moving. If that's the case, the shit would have been fixed a long time ago. That's not the case. They don't give a shit about what you say. Now let an elder woman who's got the result they're looking for, or they won't, they may listen to them.
They ain't listening.
But let a woman who makes a certain amount of money.
Women have been listening to older women. That's the reason why we're in a situation. The reason why we're in a situation today is
can I finish now? Now, can I finish, brother?
Listening to their fathers.
Brother, can I finish?
Wrong, bro.
Brother, can I finish? Come on, man. So a woman with a certain status, they not trying to hear that. They not trying to hear what a man has to say. You make less than them, they not trying to hear what you say. You talking nonsense to them. You talking a foreign language to them. They not even trying to hear what you talking about. If you don't have the results they got, making more money than they making, what makes you think they want to listen to you? Not.
They don't gotta listen to me. They not married.
bro. They already
Okay.
say, but that's what we saying,
These
bro.
women in these videos that's making these statements don't even have a man to stand next to.
But Darwin, you got to remember, bro.
They're not
1 in
listening
4.
to men. They're not listening
1
to
in
their
4
fathers.
will
They're
be
not
married.
listening to their pastors. They listening to elder women. That's the for the past 4 or 5 decades. They've been listening to women.
No, they listen to the wrong elder women, and that's the problem. They listen to the wrong one.
It's cool, Bruiser. You right, bro.
But let me also say this. Let me also say this. For some of these ladies, marriage is not the end goal, so they don't give a shit about that.
I agree with you on that, Hank. But for some of them, right? I think we also got to have two different conversations, because what women say versus what they actually accept and do is polar opposites most of the time. We hear somebody say they only gonna date a man that makes 6 figures at this XXXX, all those X's, and then you see their man, their baby daddy in it. It's none of the shit that they listed, and they was trying to submit to him and do right by him, and the shit just didn't work out that way. Like,
But what percentage of them are single, bro?
Those are
That's what I'm
outliers.
saying.
And
That's
those
what
are
we
the
got to
ones.
look at. 1 in 4
Formula.
will not be married, right? We know 1 in 4 will not be married. So we're still speaking to the majority of them that have all these higher standards, right? But they can't fulfill them themselves. And then they also are leaving relationships at a much higher clip than anyone else. That's what we're talking about. So that all get lumped up into it. You know what I'm saying? They're showing that they can't be happy, because it goes back to when we talk about these standards that men are held to, that women want. And then it also goes back to right now, can they be happy? They want to front all these, oh, I got a degree and I this, that, and the other. Yeah, you might have a degree, but it costs you $180,000. Now you in debt, and you that $110,000 you making don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the brother right here making $80,000-$90,000 a motherfucking year, he ain't got no debt. You feel me? So, but you sitting there trying to weigh him off of that because he a goddamn plumber or electrician, and you got this psychology degree that you can't do shit with. You making $65,000-$70,000 a year and still paying back 80. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they let that influence and inflate their ego to where they think they doing so much more when you can't even do shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yo,
did you catch the Thursday show?
I was on it. You ain't see me
Oh.
talking?
Oh,
yeah,
damn,
I was
you
there.
was on it.
I just said the same shit I said.
So basically, who you describe? So basically, who Marcus is describing is the vain, love dumb woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like the vain, like women can be vain and love dumb at the same time. They can be when it like because y'all was discussing this last week, right? About who is the most vain or whatever, right? And the vain woman can have, and even the women on the panel was like, "Hey, he can check off every box but that one box, and it's a no-go, right?
He don't make
and
me
that
laugh."
Makes them vain. But they are also love dumb because a motherfucker could only check off one box and check off none of the other boxes. And she's love dumb for that nigga, and she would do anything and everything for him. So they're vain and love dumb at the same damn time.
But that's still an outlier. There's still an 80-20 rule. Speaking on outliers like Marcus and Viz did is not the majority. Yes, it does happen. But the majority of them women that are self-sufficient, they're unwilling to relinquish the reins because they'll always find an excuse for never giving men the power in their lives because they've been doing that so long, it's become their comfort. So it's like crack cocaine. They're unwilling, they're addicted to it. They'll give you a million reasons and they only submit to some. And those are rare outliers. You think you could come out of jail like Jeremy Meeks and impregnate a billionaire's daughter? That's like hitting the lotto 2 times.
I would argue they don't submit to nobody.
It's conditional.
I would argue
that it's conditional.
Nobody.
I would argue that I would agree partly with what you say. It's conditional to their needs.
I guess the reason where I'm coming from when I say nobody is normally when it's conditional, the conditions are absolutely ridiculous. Like normally the conditions are so ridiculous that it's not even a factor to even count. If she's saying I will only submit to a motherfucker that's a millionaire, he can buy me a ring that's 3 times his salary and a ring gotta cost $100,000. She won't submit to nobody because how unrealistic is that? She won't even encounter that in her life. So that's what I mean by when I say they don't submit to nobody, because normally if their conditions are fucking ridiculous, and mostly in 99.9% of the people on the planet can't even meet that condition, then that basically what she's saying is there ain't nobody on this planet that I submit to.
Sweetie, let's go back to what the lady said in the video. 150,000 has to match my master's or go higher. You meet those requirements, you're meeting her conditions. You understand? Is it not?
No. I guess we're saying the same thing, essentially. Because even if she did say that, right? What if she there's a lot of people don't meet people who, or at least don't know that they met people that make over 150,000 a year.
Come on, man.
They will sit there, that will be a standard in their life, and all you've worked at is McDonald's and Walmart your entire time, and you don't know what it takes to make 150 grand. You don't know what to look for to see a motherfucker that make 150 grand, but that's just your standard because you saw it somewhere.
Sweeney, if a lady's messing with you, how long do you think it take it with your watchful eye to know that she ain't somebody of a low tax bracket if you're around her?
Oh, I was gonna say it don't really take that long at all.
Exactly. So it's
but
just like
I don't even have to be with her to know that. I can just tell from our environment that you don't earn that type of money.
Okay,
you know what's crazy though? We're speaking on outliers, right? But yet I believe just about everyone on this panel is in a relationship with a woman that submits to them. So if it's right now 9 men on the panel and just about everyone has a woman that submits to them, how are we telling men that are watching that this can't happen for them?
Never said it can't.
Thank you, Viz.
That's literally what this is. Literally what the pushback is. You specifically said that we are describing the outlier.
Is that a lie?
The majority of the men on this panel are with women that submit to them.
Okay,
then how is that the outlier?
Are they those women that we are addressing per the questions given by the panel? Are the women that are in your life, Marcus' life, Sweeney life, those type of women?
Self-sufficient?
Read the whole thing.
The question is literally if they are self-sufficient, essentially. If they're self-sufficient,
can they be satisfied? Can they be happy with someone that they out
do not pick and choose?
Right.
Say the whole thing.
The main key point of it is if they're self-sufficient, right?
You can't pick and choose.
Yes or no. That's not picking and choosing.
So
that's the main topic of the conversation.
The main topic is a description off the first video we saw.
We're not talking.
Do you have a woman in your life like the lady who put up the 150 standards, have to have a master's, you have to meet these requirements that I set? Do you have a woman like that in your life?
My woman has standards, yes.
Do you have a woman like that in your life? I know how
that
I said
has standards.
No,
that
the
has
standards
standards.
that the woman that
Do you
the
have a
standards
woman
that the
like
woman
that? I know I'm speaking good English.
Like the woman in the video.
Saying that they want to make them that they have to make a certain amount of
You
money.
watched the same video as us.
Money
Yo,
isn't
the
an issue to
ignorance.
her.
The ignorance is like.
Listen, all we got instead of throwing insults, all we gotta do is play the damn clip over.
I'm not insulting anybody. That is ignorance.
How is that ignorance? The context of it all is that this woman has a standard that she set. So for the fact that she has a standard, just as any woman or person would have a standard, hopefully.
So I'm gonna ask the question again, and I'm gonna go real slow. Is the woman in that video with her standards a mirror of the woman that you have in your life?
Play the video again.
JR? Or
I actually didn't see the video.
I'm bringing it up right now.
I'm about to say that's a fair question, Kenny.
He wouldn't even answer the other question as for a high earning woman being self-sufficient, making demands as
What
for what she wants in
didn't
her
I
life.
answer about it?
Okay, let's touch on what you said as for we're teaching men to be negative against women.
I'm about
It
to
would,
ready to play
it
it.
would,
Want me
it
to play
would
it
be
right now?
easy. It
Want me to
would
play
be
it right now?
easy for
Hold
you
on
to
real
try
quick,
to
Kenny.
say
Hold on real quick, Kenny.
you.
Let him play the video.
That
Pause for a
wasn't what
minute,
I
Kenny.
said. That wasn't
Huh?
what I said. But
Hold on
okay.
real quick. Let him play the video.
Challenge is that women are having, Black women in particular, when it comes to becoming a wife.
Keeping it 100,
Yes.
there's not enough eligible Black males who fit the needs of Black women. By the time you dissect the demographics of finances, sexual orientation, what you end up drilling down into, because Black women tend to want to marry Black men.
Right.
So Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Right.
And it's also shown in research that women want to marry on their same level of financial and educational status.
Yeah.
So if you're a Black woman making $150,000 a year with a master's degree, you tend to want to marry a Black man on that same level or higher. If Black women are excelling at such an accelerated rate, how do men keep up with that?
When the
So to reiterate Kenny's question, he's asking you: is that woman a mirror image of the woman that you have?
I wouldn't say a mirror image, no, but she carries some of the same values.
So your woman would say that you have to earn the same amount, if not out earn her.
No,
that was the main point of it. The income.
Then no, your woman isn't. She's nowhere near a mirror image of your woman.
You know
But
how
that again goes back to my original point of if this man shows up in a certain way, shape, and form, then that'll be irrelevant. Women set these standards all the time and break them for the right guy. So that's my point. Like I get it. We're going off of what. Absolutely, bro.
So we would say, so the women that the men that we see these women break rules for, the women that we see these women break rules for, we're gonna say that they're the right men.
Yeah, they'll do it, Sweeney. They'll do it.
Absolutely.
But y'all see how we center this around the woman again, right? Y'all see how this is centered on what the woman wants and what she'll do, instead of saying the man that is principled on his square, if he's a king, actually. Wait, hold on. Because
that's what I've been saying this entire time, bro.
No, brother. Because in this same space, we often tell men to get as much money as possible. Right?
Yeah.
Ain't that what king's supposed to do?
For sure. But if
so why
but
are
if
we
you
having
can
the discussion? Wait, just really quick, brother. My question is, why are we centering women for this discussion?
Because that's the topic at hand.
We answered that question, right? But I'm saying in all these rebuttals that I'm listening to, women are at the center of what they want, what they'll do, so on and so forth, right? This woman will break for the right man, or this woman, if you a king, she'll adhere, and like, bruh.
But that's that point that I'm making. That's not centering it around the woman. That's centering it around the man. All I've been saying this entire time is if you are that man. If you are that king,
concrete, can you give me examples, even if they're anecdotal? Can you give me example? I gave you Fawn Weaver, right? Can you give me an example of a woman that out earns her man and is still submissive to that man that we would all recognize? Go ahead.
I gave an example. I gave an example. I forgot her name. Let me look her up. Shorty that owns Mael. She sold it for $640 million.
He said that we all would know.
So Tabitha Brown,
I'm not on the internet like that, bro. I don't know Ebony Kays and I don't know all of these people.
I'll volunteer. I'll volunteer.
Hold on. I just want to with Marcus, Tabitha Brown built with that man. That man was in law enforcement. He was up and she was down. Now she out earns him. That's slightly different.
I'll volunteer my own personal story.
Yeah, but we
So
don't know that.
I went to school. I went back to school to get my computer science degree, and my wife was out earning me. She was in the military.
My wife out
Yeah, but
earned me last
My-
year, well, 3 years ago when she got a VP of banking position.
So when me and my girl started dating, she out earned me too. We talking about one that we
talking about, yeah.
Asked us to give you, even if it's anecdotal, and we gave you 3 of them, and you
I
still
said
can't
that we
even
were
digest
all
it and
no.
shit it out.
What you
But
mean?
I don't
that we
know
all
your
know?
situation. You're not somebody of note.
I'm
So
about
stop.
that.
We're
I'm gonna
talking
relax
about a
on that.
vain woman here, man.
Yeah,
We're talking about a situation where we have a vain woman who predicates her argument like, I don't think any of our women ever came out into the dating market talking about having this mindset that this chick who was interviewing goddamn Cam Newton has. None of the women we married had that mindset. We're talking about the women who have that mindset. Show us an example of this woman who has this type of mindset being in a situation where she out earns her man and she treats him with respect.
I don't think that type of woman is going to treat anybody with respect, regardless.
That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
and what we're saying is that's the majority. That's the majority of women. And I want one single person on here because we're talking about this could happen for us. But one of y'all tell me which one of your wives would not be considered a 90 percentile. Go ahead. Which one of y'all wives is not to be considered in the 90 percentile? Go ahead and tell me. I'm waiting. Go ahead. Who
of what?
What do you mean by
of women?
percentile?
How you rate women as far as her being virtuous, her being like the best type of woman that you possibly could have gotten. I want one of y'all to tell me which one of your girls is average. Which one of you do you consider to be the average, the majority? Because we acting like there's not such a thing as a bell curve here.
Hey, look, you're trying to get the fellas on this panel with trouble.
No,
man.
I'm not, because I know nobody gonna say it. So what I'm saying is that you selected your wife because you felt she was exceptional, right? And now we're talking about average women here. The average woman, how the average woman in the general sense is behaving, and we're ignoring that. We're talking about exceptional women, right? Dudes who understand relationship dynamics and how to select and vet and everything are talking about their wives and trying to compare it to the majority. And that's ludicrous. We can't do that. That's not real life. That's your experience, but it's not the world's experience.
I will say this though. I don't think.
Wait, Sweeney. Trev.
Somebody read that super chat real quick.
Exceptional men attract exceptional women.
Great, and understand that.
So
black men.
So if this is King's talk, then that's who we're talking to.
Why do we need to just talk to kings? The kings don't need to hear what we saying. The kings don't need to hear what we saying. They already kings. We need to be talking to the people who are trying to navigate this. So I think that's the people we're useful for.
When you speak from integrity, and you give them substance and value, they take that and they use that as a way as something to measure up to, or something to subscribe to. They're inspired by that.
Exactly. So that doesn't have nothing to do with what I just said. Exactly. What I'm saying is, what are we telling the people who are average men who are dealing with average women? And even if we elevate men, right? Let's say all black men elevate. You know what's going to happen? Inflation. The standard's just going to be higher. The bell curve is real. There's always people that are in the middle. There's always most people are in the middle. And then there's some exceptional men. There's some exceptional women. There's some people who are poor, right? That's always going to exist. It always has. It always will. If we want to help most people, we need to come up with solutions for average people. Kings don't need to hear us.
I did that earlier, and this brings it back to my point. We were telling the audience that these women we're talking about in particular are not submissive women. They don't submit the traditional way. Their submission is to hypergamy, to a man having a threshold that's at the same level of them or above. And if they actually meet or surpass that threshold, he's out of the game. And I'm arguing that's not the tip. That's not the women I've been running to and dealing with.
But
I'm telling you, we giving these women an excuse to use, and they're just adopting these excuses as an innate nature, so they can.
How are we giving them excuse if we're calling them
woman? What excuse?
We're calling them on their bad behavior.
The next guy, because I out earn you.
If we're calling them on their bad behavior, how are we giving them excuse?
Exactly.
Bruce,
What are you talking about?
Bruce, you keep
if we calling who on their bad behavior?
If we're calling out women, which pretty much, well, most of us on the
that's
panel do
thing.
that, right?
We keep saying women. We talk. Okay. We're talking about women, but we talking about a specific woman. That's why I'm trying to dial in on that.
Bruce, you misunderstanding what they're doing. They're answering the question at face value. They're just answering the question. Can women be happy?
already answered that.
Right. So they're just talking about what is. They're not giving women excuses. They're not trying to excuse the women's behavior. They're not even giving them an olive branch. They're just simply talking about what is. Now, if we want to talk about solutions to that problem, I see where you're coming from. But they're just simply answering the question at face value.
We answered that too. We looked at the statistic and we said, okay, this can happen, but this over here is actually what I think Law put it perfectly. This is actually what's going on in reality.
So
we don't have to accept that. We don't got to accept the statistics to paint all women with this, because there's other underlying issues that cause women to want to make
you saying all.
Okay, so he keep cutting me off, and this is the context that actually matters. That's keeping us from elevating ourselves or moving to the next point.
Me correcting you on saying all when we didn't say all is stopping progress.
I tried. That's when me and Sweeney had that exchange. I said, what women are we talking about? Because if you're saying all women are predisposed to this type of behavior,
Who said all?
Hold on, wait a minute. I said if we're talking about what women are we talking about? I said if you saying all the women who walked away from the marriage because of finances or because they leveled up, you're saying that all of these women or majority of women are predisposed to not being submissive. And that was my question. Is that what we're saying?
So even if they say yes, right? I get what you're saying. So there should be a follow-up discussion to that. Now we can have the discussion on how do we prescribe? What prescription should we offer for that? That should be your follow-up question. So we understand that you're having this conversation from a different perspective. They answer the question at face value. You hear the answer that they gave, and now your next question is, okay, then. So since we understand that, let's say for the sake of argument, majority of the women behave like this. What's the prescription of that?
If majority of women behave like this and that's not submissive, they're not worthy of marriage. And it brings me back to the original point where I said, because of the way the paradigm, I think Calvin put it, he backed me on this. The way the paradigm is shifting, these women are gonna have to dial it back, or they're gonna have to be alone.
So so basically, and now to the other point, to your point, that's basically the argument that Bruiser has been making the entire time is, okay, what do we tell these women who are sitting over here saying they can't be happy with a man that they out earn? Hey, lady, I think your expectations are a little too high.
That's it. They're too high. And if you're willing to move like that and date with this type of objectivity, then do it at your own peril, because it's lonely at the end of the road.
Look at how you spin
if I could quote Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to the brother, he was already hip to this, and he was already in the trenches.
Look at how you spun the block and came to a tangible point after saying that we were doing a disservice we were giving the women a crutch to stand on and doing a disservice to the young men watching us. Then you came right around and said that we were doing God's work. It's crazy.
Nope, you're gonna have to give me context on that, because you gotta walk me through that.
I'm about to get off with you motherfuckers, bro. I was sitting up here watching Tulsa King. Y'all getting on my fucking
It's sad that we was able to make a breakthrough, but McKinney likes to be so contentious all the time. He got to walk it back so we can go reinvent the argument.
Spell
we
contentious.
We could just go ahead and move on, since me and Sweeney just paved the road and found a solution. Thank you, Trev, for activating this.
You know what's the crazy thing? Law already done put down the solution and the stats, and he's watching you spin the block the point we made about 20 minutes ago.
And that's just what happened when you deal with men who got boots on the ground.
He said, you short man midget, you are the problem on the panel.
Y'all listen, whenever we
got a new topic for us, bro.
Y'all made this whole topic a problem when y'all start talking about probability instead of just answering the question outright. And I think we all did that. We made it a problem when we start talking about, but does it happen? Like, fuck does it happen? The question is, can it happen?
We know
We
it
should have
can
just
happen,
left it alone
bro.
right
It's
there.
always probability over possibility.
That's what
Anything
he's
can
saying.
fucking
You're not
happen.
So then why
listening.
don't we generate the question in account for probability?
Man, go ahead. Tell them young kings, dog. Get them a heifer making 6 figures plus, man. You can have it if you're making 30,000. You can get you a woman making multi-millions, dog.
First of all, that ain't even a solution for most goddamn people. This is
Nah.
crazy. Most of you motherfuckers ain't gonna never run into a motherfucker that make $1 million. And if you do, you won't know it. Like, this is, oh my God.
Okay, Sweeney, speak for yourself.
No, I'm speaking for the majority, bro. That's why I said most.
Okay, that's fair.
Most of these people are never gonna run into this person. Most of y'all earn average money and run into people that earn average money. How this is a thing that we have to worry about bitches like this motherfucker that was in that video is crazy to me.
Thank you. That's Winnie. That's what I was saying. They making it popular.
Yeah, he definitely from Gary.
This don't even happen. The fact that Sweeney was able to Sweeney, you indirectly back me on that. This don't even happen.
Darwin, slow down.
Really,
You're in a
don't
cul-de-sac
disrespect
in Georgia. Slow down. There are a lot of women where I do my work that make that type of money, and I hear the conversations as I'm walking to the telephone room or doing certain things like this. Oh, he didn't have this and this, that. Oh, his car he pulled up, it was a Sentra. I couldn't see myself stepping that Sentra with my Louboutins on. And I'm there, I'm listening to these conversations. The majority of these women are not gonna find a man, and the ones that get near the threshold, they eventually
wish
lower
Marcus would
expectations
chime in.
and find men that will love them back.
Marcus said it better the other week. It's because she don't like you.
The threshold. See, here's the problem, Darwin. You love the
It's
sound of your
you.
voice
Say
rather
it
than the
again,
information
Darwin.
being
Like,
conveyed.
I don't understand how that's a simple lie.
I don't want to steal his signature move. It literally destroys everything Kenny said.
So what about what I was conveying was allergic to your ears?
Because the right dude who come around, the one that she like, she gonna hop in that Sentra.
Okay, she gonna hop in the Sentra for the 6'8" dude that drink the good fire water, right? And look, why'd you do that? Come back. So here's the thing. So you're disagreeing that on a majority scale, those women that behave like that submit and give in to men that make less than them?
They would.
I said on the majority.
They would.
They won't.
I believe they would.
They won't.
I believe that they really. I believe that.
Come on, bro. I feel like y'all really gotta stop. I feel
like
like y'all really just
down for you.
came into it tonight trying to make sure y'all disagree with anything.
The numbers prove that.
That's what it sounds like. Because y'all disagreeing on some shit that don't even make sense. Y'all know good and well, bro. Come on, man. Y'all both have dealt with women all y'all lives. And y'all know what the word
business to defy the odds, bro.
Law. So let's say you was down bad and you came across a chick that made more than you and you was in the Central. You telling me that you wouldn't be able to pull her if you wanted her?
It's different. I'm not.
How is it different, bro? Come on, man.
If he said he could,
y'all niggas tripping.
If he said he could,
bro, listen.
Y'all
look,
niggas
y'all
tripping,
gotta
bro.
remember the top 20%. Y'all gotta remember, Joe, the top 20%.
I'm asking you, bro. We not talking.
Barring us talking about a pimp, right? Barring us talking about that, we're talking about the average woman, but not even the average woman. Let's say we're talking about a woman that the not average woman, this chick that earns $150,000 a year. Matter of fact, fuck it. Let's just say a chick that earns 80 grand a year. Majority of the motherfuckers that run into her who earn less than her is not gonna make that woman submit to him. I don't give a fuck what we're saying. She just won't do it. She don't have to. Most women even tell you the reason why they earn money is so that they don't have to listen to a man. That's the first thing that
we just acknowledged 4 men on the panel that their woman, when they met their woman, they was making more than them. And they all submitted to him, bro.
We already
but we're talking about, but we already addressed that is a mind. We already said one. You even said that your woman don't even emulate what the chick in the video said, and I would agree. I would say that all of our women don't emulate what we're talking about. The women that talk like her.
Sweeney,
Most of the women that-
you missing a critical piece. Y'all keep talking about the women who earn this money. Y'all not accounting for whether that bitch ugly, she fat, obese, all these other things.
Why would that matter? Wait, now I'm curious. Hey, Bruiser, why would that matter?
Hold on,
Why would
wait.
that matter?
So just because she make 50,000 don't make her not average. She still, in my book, she could still be an average woman because she got to be. It's other things across the board that she got to make up for, and that's not going to make her more valuable than a woman just because of her paycheck. And if y'all arguing against that,
that's her perceived value.
If y'all arguing against that, basically what y'all saying, a woman's salary determines her value. And I rest my mouth.
No, wait.
In
I
their
will say
head,
this.
it does what we say.
Tell him, Bruiser.
I will say this.
What is he talking about?
I will say this. Even
That's
the
her
woman that is
perceived
fat,
value. That's not
even the one-
what men.
head.
That's not what men. That's
talking
her
about,
perceived value. That's what we talking about.
Really,
Even
you
the
giving
woman-
him props for going dark. Behind that dark thing, he going like this.
Even the woman that is fat and
Sound like
ugly, and
some
she
damn
makes
dust.
150 grand a year. She's fat and ugly. She get a motherfucker during tax season because he the spot to lay his head at. He's still only there to serve one purpose. She's not gonna submit to him. She gonna still talk her shit to him. She gonna still do what she want to do. And the moment he try to tell her what to do with
That's
her
a
money,
lie.
bro.
So you saying Precious ain't gonna
Sweeney, you just gave an example not too long ago of women that submit to the men that do that very thing.
No, I would still say that they outliers.
But you gave the example though. Come on, man.
You could give an example and they still be an outlier.
Give an example of an outlier.
Oh man.
Just like y'all trying to make the outliers the norm.
Why can't we?
Is it a regular thing for women to meet men?
I'm explaining how we can't.
Hold on, wait. How weak of a man are we creating if we are saying that the outliers cannot be the norm?
No, the problem is because this is where the misconception comes, because you're basing it off of the man when it's the woman who has the problem. It's not his problem to fix. So when we talk about an outlier, you're saying, how can we not make these women do this? It ain't got shit to do with the man.
It has
It's
everything
her.
to do with the man.
No,
bro.
it doesn't, because a woman who don't want to listen to a man, it doesn't matter if he's a good man, bad man, ugly man, fine man, no matter what the fuck he is, if she don't want to listen to that nigga, she won't. How is that his problem? Only thing you can tell that motherfucker to do is not deal with her. That's all we can do is tell him, hey, leave that chick alone. Does that change what kind of chick she is? No.
If she's not showing that she's willing to submit to you early on through the gate, this would be something that you should be able to see through the gate. If you can't see that through the gate, then of course, no, don't waste your time with her. But if she's showing you that through the gate, then absolutely.
So the women we're talking about is the ones like that chick. She this ain't a motherfucker that none of us is experiencing this woman in a relationship. This is who she is out the gate. She came online and told the entire world, hey, we don't deal with men that make less than $150,000 if I make it. I don't deal with a man if I got a master's degree. If I don't deal with men that don't have master's degrees. This is what these type of women are saying out the gate. So it doesn't even matter what kind of man he is, because she's already not a good woman.
I agree that she's not a good woman, but what we
agreed
she's lying. That all that shit will go out the window.
But she's single.
And I'm gonna tell you and I told you the last thing, her image. You gotta understand, you gotta look at the image of these women who's making these statements. You don't see these obese, bust down, disproportionate body women that fucked around and got a psychology degree and making 150,000 making these claims.
Okay, so
they not doing that. So let's get it right.
Is grasping at straws right now. What Marcus point made is that woman's lying. Why is she lying?
Especially when we're talking about black women. 70% of them is obese anyways.
Going. Namaste. Marcus. So why is she lying?
She lying because any man she meet that she likes, she's gonna let all that shit go out the window. That's just like when you beat somebody and they tell you, I'm not gonna fuck you on the first night. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna fuck you on the first night. When women
So
tell
let me
you,
ask you a question.
She 40
You think you
plus.
could take her down?
yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that's your ego. That's why you
Oh
answered that
God,
way.
Kenny, you ain't see what you
Hold
do.
on,
You
no,
ain't got no
no,
That's
damn
no, no,
weak ass
listen,
shit.
hold on, wait,
That's
no,
weak ass
no.
shit for you.
I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna
How is
explain
that
how.
weak?
I'm gonna explain
That's
how.
some weak ass shit.
Marcus thinks highly of himself. Is that me
So
saying
you
that
feel that you can't
I'm
take her
weak for
down?
saying that?
Yeah,
Marcus, you don't
you
think
think that you
highly of
can't take her
yourself?
down?
You will make
me
make
saying
that chick submit.
you feel strongly that you take it down. You know,
I'll get you a smasher. I'm not denying that you won't be able to do that, but
So-
you'll make that chick submit.
I could.
see, you looking
She
for
ain't did-
anything to
She
jump
ain't
on,
did that in
Viz,
40 years.
so
I
you can
doubt
look smart in this conversation. You got smacked all around like a ping pong ball because you standing on a bad point. You will not concede. You know it's an outlier.
I don't concede to weakness.
Professing
I don't
anything
concede to
bad
weakness.
to
I'm
female
not a
or
weak
male
man.
culture.
I'm not a
We're
weak man.
actually
I don't
educating
concede to
people.
weakness.
We're
It's
Marcus, would you
simple.
even
actually
deal with her?
educating people. We're actually
Exactly.
educating people. Let
You're,
it
You want to
sink
know
in
why you wouldn't
sometimes.
deal with her?
you're creating men that's
You want to know
just
why
like
you
you,
wouldn't deal
weak
with
as
her?
hell. That
Because
has
she's
no
not
confidence
submissive.
in themselves.
She wouldn't even get through the gate.
I'm the one that wear Dr. Seuss slippers around the house and I'm weak.
Yeah.
No,
You
that's
did not hear
what
what I
you
just
do.
said to Marcus.
You're
You
right
wear
on point.
PJs and
You
try to
are
act
weak.
real full of.
You
Okay,
are weak
let's
as
get
hell.
to it. Let's
I'm
get
weak
to
because
it.
I wear PJs. Like
Why did you
how
run
stupid
off
do you
Shan?
sound? How
Why did
stupid
you
do
run
you
off
sound?
Shan and
I'm
then
weak
with that
because I wear PJs.
that misogynist comment? I want to know what you really think about women. Because I heard what you said. So all this that you preaching, you're detrimental to women. How do you run off Shan and them? Could you recall that since you're a man of leadership?
Yeah.
What would you say? I heard what you said.
What did I say?
Yeah, Marcus, turn off. Get away from this.
The clip that you shared.
The clip that you said a woman has to be pretty. If you were a
I
boss,
said a
you'd
woman has to be
have
pretty.
to do a Shaq move with her.
That wasn't what was said.
No.
That wasn't what was said. You're reaching hard as hell. You're reaching for straws right now.
I'm not reaching for nothing.
You're reaching for straws.
I'm not reaching for nothing. Why did Shan jump off? What was the comment that you made?
She mentioned something about Trump saying that he did not want to employ a woman.
What did you say about he has the right to
He
what?
does have a right. It's his fucking business.
Finish the sentence.
He has a right to deny her if she does not fit his brand.
No, that's not what you said.
That is what I said.
That's not what you said.
All right. Okay.
You said if she ugly, right?
If she's
and
ugly,
what else you said that was tasteless to make Shan jump off? Since you're a man of leadership. And
however it is that she looks,
since
if this woman does not fit my brand or your job,
I'm a weak
then
man.
you are well within your own rights
Hey, Marcus,
to say that
come
I
back
don't want them to
on.
work for him.
Viz was yelling at cars. So we're going to keep the whole paradigm. We're going to keep the same type of energy. You ran Shan off because you are a misogynist and you said something nasty to women. And then you're talking about leadership.
Kenny,
and
women don't even like you, dog. Like women don't even like you. Women don't like you, don't
you could
respect
put your
you.
woman up next
None
to
of
my
that
woman
shit. Not in real life, not on the internet. Like you have no grounds whatsoever to speak about what women feel or think or in any way, shape, or form.
Okay,
you're
so
50
you're
years
a
old
weak man
and you're
that has to
miserable.
conform to
And you're
tribalism.
telling me that
You
I'm
are a weak
misogynist.
man.
You can't
no
even have a
aptitude
conversation with a
that has
woman.
to conform to tribalism.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Okay,
You
look
a
how I
peon,
got
bro.
you. Look how
You
I
a
got
peon.
you. Look how I got you.
You ain't got me no way. I'm just telling you the
who's
truth.
The weak man. I'm keeping my composure. I'm only telling the truth. You the one cursing at people. Who weak now?
You weak.
Chicago Rilla, this is where you supposed to pump your chest up like
mean?
you was earlier, man.
How many times I gotta say it?
And
Okay,
listen,
so-
I'm reading something that just came across about Fawn Weaving and brought the largest grape yard in Cognac, France. Man, I ain't studying with y'all.
Oh, who is it? Who is this person that you're speaking of, Rilla? Let me speak to somebody with some intelligence.
Y'all crazy,
because you know I'm good for knowledge. I'm good for knowledge, Rilla.
Nah,
I talk to people that pick up books. Read, not just play like he reading them in videos. This man argued for more than 2
You
hours about outliers
you're
and
my
how
biggest fan, Kenny. You be all on my page.
you must be
You
out
one of
your
them
mind.
ghosts. You one of them ghost
My
followers.
man,
You
you
take
need
my
to go
page
film
every
something
day,
by the
don't you?
river. That's what you need to go do. You conform to tribalism. This is how a man chops you apart when he
No,
has
you're the one
intellect
that
and he
conforms to
stands on his own
tribalism.
too.
You're
That's
the one that got
leadership.
Yeah,
upset
that's
because
about right, JR.
I
That's
said fuck
leadership.
the Jim
Question:
Crow and the Willie
is
Lynch letter.
tribalism a
You're
bad
the
thing?
one that
Oh
focused
no,
on that.
no. You know what?
That's
I'm
you.
man enough to
I
go
think
back
on
to
my
Shan
own.
because
I'm
I
a
read
grown
books and
man that
say
thinks on
Henry
my own.
drags.
That's something that
You
you
don't
can't
pick up
do.
nothing. You tell people about feelings and barbershops. You back a man that did
I
what?
don't even go
to
to the
black
barber
people?
shop.
Sweeney, you sleep.
This dude is.
No, he just checked out.
Yeah.
I would check out too. Viz.
Oh man,
all
yeah,
that
that's
you
what's up,
talk.
Law.
Gooch,
But I
10
think the biggest takeaway from this
is
conversation
0.
is that we shouldn't label a woman solely. We shouldn't label a woman strong solely because she got academic accolades, and we also
Darwin.
shouldn't label a woman strong solely because she make over 6 figures.
Darwin.
You got to understand what a strong woman is.
Darwin, you have a responsibility.
These women who have academic accolades and have 150,000 can still be deemed average women.
Darwin,
They still can be the average woman you run into, but it
Darwin,
wouldn't
I'm
be.
gonna give you the respect. When you say solely, that's a synonym of all. We didn't say all. We gave the dynamic. We parsed
Listen,
it
I'm
through.
not accusing people of. I just said what you could take away. But see, you got a contentious. You so contentious. You just got to figure
Y'all
out how to
contentious.
nitpick something to argue about. It's
Is
like
that an
it's like if
argument?
nobody else is home with you. You would look in the mirror and arguing with your damn self.
You think so?
Yes.
You think so?
You would look in the mirror and say, "What the hell?"
Another
you looking
one
at?
within tribalism.
Yo, Bruiser, I ain't gonna hold you, but a woman making $150,000 in the 9.5 percentile of all Americans earning. I'm not calling that woman average.
No.
Yeah, that's not average.
I would call
And-
if
and-
she's single. If
and-
she's single and she don't hold, if she's moving like most of these women that can't find a husband and get married, in my book, that's an average woman out here.
Your
And
book
she
is
lied.
small.
She lied
Nobody
anyway.
thinks about
She
you like
she
that.
lied because she
That's
was
an
saying
average
that
woman you gonna run into.
she said black
Your book
women
is
are
Let's
small.
earning.
man who
Nobody
can
thinks
find
about
two
you like
suitable
that.
wives.
Your
Yeah,
work don't
she
hold
said
on.
no. She said they running circles around black men.
And that's a lie because they're
And that's
still
a lie.
they're making like 93 cents to every dollar of a black man. So it's a lie
Exactly. So
anyway.
that's a false testimony. That's just a woman come up
we're
in
not
there with a
confusing
blazer
women.
with her hair done, just
Even-
adhering to
even-
the sister girl code, not doing anything positive to promote women. Find somebody that loves you before you start putting FICA score and all this other things on. When she said need, I heard her say need. You don't need someone with a gajillion dollars. You need somebody to be there to wipe your ass when you old or tend to your wounds and give two shit about you. That's what's not being pushed. So when people say I'm yelling at cars, I'm yelling at those ones to get away because you are influential. To the same big man up there that has daughters or daughter that he loves. To the same idiot over here that got a 15-year-old. We got to be a village. I don't care if you like me or dislike me.
Who is
Take
the
the
idiot?
message from it. Because ain't nobody gonna fight like I'm gonna fight for you. I don't care if you don't like me. I'm gonna keep saying it over and over till it resonates.
Why are you yelling at cars, bro?
Okay, because sometimes you gotta yell from mountains because bald head dudes like you don't listen and you think you know it all.
The sad thing is you can't think of nothing else about me to talk about that isn't a direct reflection of yourself.
Wait, the mom genes?
That's
Do
a
you
damn
telling
shame.
everything? You not being a man, you not being a man that can hold secrets that protect your family. Remember you said that?
What are you talking about?
Y'all
Oh,
tweaking.
listen,
Y'all is big
Oh,
tweaking.
damn. Yo, Kenny, you went back like 8
is
months
I
on
can
that
recall
one.
a lot of
God
information.
damn.
He's
You went back. That was like
Bro.
8 months ago.
Oh,
God
yeah,
damn.
yeah.
He gonna hold you accountable,
That
bro.
man
Don't
got
you-
his man got a fucking clipboard. He got a clipboard next to his camera, bro. He reading out all the times he got his feelings hurt.
Nobody get off scot-free. My feelings hurt. You really think so? I'm passionate about my
I
people
think you need
and
to
what I
put a
talk
few more
about.
ice cubes in
Don't
your
you
scotch.
confuse. Please do not confuse you thinking you get me off my square. I had a lovely lady in my life.
I
I got a
got you
good
off your
job,
square.
and
I
I
even
help
had
people.
you publicly say that you envy me.
Huh? No. This is what I said. Repeat it properly. I said, you get so mad. You don't know I envy you for having a nuclear family that loves you, because most men don't have that. That is what I said. Quote me right. Don't diminish what I said. For me to be able to push you off
That's
your
the reason.
square,
Because of
for
hold
me
on.
to be able
Because
to
of
push
brothers like
any man
yourself.
with a
This is the
nuclear
reason why
family with somebody he loves, that
so you
shows an
gotta let somebody else
inconsistency
respond
in
to you,
your
brother.
life.
You can't
Wait,
always lecture
I'm
people.
gonna repeat it again.
The reason why
For me to be able to push you off your square, if you have everything that you want in your life, that means there's something there.
No, listen, Kenny. The reason why I asserted myself in the space, because brothers like you envy what I achieve. And my whole goal
That's
and
what you
point
think?
is to
That's the
you
message
just
you got
made that
from it?
statement. You made the statement. I'm going off of what you just said.
So that's the message you got from it.
I come into space and I try to help brothers
So
get
is
there.
that the message
Because I
you
figured out
got
a way,
from it?
I figured out a roadmap. Come
Okay,
on,
so
man.
watch this. The same cats that laugh, that wish to admonish me for not having children, but exalt a man that came on our last show who said he had 14 baby mamas, 18 kids, and then
Whoa.
found his
Who
sexual
did that?
prowess, something to be proud to. Just at least give him a olive branch, and also give him a branch because he stood tall.
Who did that?
So
Who
wait.
did
Wait. You know who did it?
I definitely didn't exalt him. I think that's a miss.
Okay, so may I broach where you exalted him? At no point in time did you admonish him for being the blight and scourge of our community for doing that.
Sure.
Showing that you have, wait, hold on. I'm not fighting you. Just let it rip. The only thing that you chose to partake in that conversation is to ask him about his sexual prowess and compare it to yours, and also give him the banner for standing tall, and also give an explanation for the laymen that don't know exactly what he did to hold down brothers and take time for him. Anything about that behavior which affects our community, leaving fractured home after fractured home, you said nothing. I reviewed it like 4 times.
That's incorrect. What I didn't do was continue to go over the point redundantly. That's what I think the mistake is.
Okay. Was it redundant if you chose to partake in the conversation and ask him if that was a healthy way? Because you didn't have to be heavy-handed, because you saw the excuses this man was making for the behavior. Even when Sweeney said, "Sir, like I did, you don't see any wrong in what you did. Would you, if you rewind the clock and give it another stab, would you do the same things?" He said, "Yes." You have daughters. You say home base is what you champion first, yes? Dudes like that in the community, that's something that you wouldn't reprimand when given a chance, so that you could show other people that that's not acceptable. But guess what? The trivial stuff as for attacking me, which I don't care. Have at it. I measure what you put your vitriol to.
Why?
Because you're important.
Oh, that was
You
so
think
lovely.
I do this? You think I do this just to be ranting? You don't go back and listen like I do. You think Honey Hips up there, I feel like arguing with him every day? No.
Nigga, we don't argue.
Hold on, wait. Who is Honey?
Did you just answer the Honey
I
Hips,
did
bro?
just answer that
What
shit.
the
Hold on. God damn.
fuck,
This
bro?
motherfucker got me.
Hey, yo.
This motherfucker got me.
Yo.
Pause. God damn it, shit.
Got him.
At least we was able to lighten the damn mood, man. Shit.
Got him.
Damn, y'all niggas need to chill out.
I'm not. Look, I'm not even going to ask you no questions
that was
about
worse
that.
than you answering to the goose.
The
man.
long and short, Long pointed out a long time ago. We got on this panel and we were making conscious points, broaching stuff. Y'all just wanted to do the Cuba Gooden thing, swinging and win. It's fine. I think y'all got a lot more to offer than what y'all doing. Trust me, my skin is thick.
What?
Pause.
Let me go ahead and consider these.
That's that goose skin.
Oh, God damn it, man.
Shout out to Dale Matthews, man, with the 5 memberships. That's what's up. Miss University. What was that? Me University? My bad. Me University. You got trained, tough loving women, not alphas. Shout out to the trained, tough loving women. Alpha female, Me University with 2 ball. Alpha female would have to laugh off a chest punch. Damn. Gina 789 with the 2 ski woo ski. Yes, Darwin. Gina with 789 with the 2
out
ski
there
woo
pandering.
Men teach women how to be a woman, not women. Really? That's news to me. Gina 789 with the $2. Darwin is speaking facts. 100.
That one that the high
I
pitch
know that's
one,
right.
Brother?
You said what?
Is that the high pitch one?
Y'all tweaking. Michael. Wait, who was that? Michael, that I Mike Newell with the 5. With the fan for Marcus. Stop debating. There are stats. 1 in 4 will marry. Pull this stuff up. Men don't talk in feeling, Kings. Don't do this, JR. You know the numbers. Oh, I think Law already said that. 1 in 4 will marry. Or Trev, one of the statisticians said it.
Law said it, and they fought that point to the bitter end. Law was like, Jesus.
Oh.
Anything else you wish to say, Viz? Get it all out now.
Oh, God, leave, boy. Hey. Yo.
Hey, that boy, my biggest fan. I feel you though, man. I got a lot of fans out there, Kenny. I get it. I understand.
Viz, you poet niggas are the worst, man.
Viz, you really write poetry?
I used to rap back in the day, but the poet part now is more so based off
Spit
of
something. We ain't trying to hear all that. Spit something.
That nigga be at the poetry slams on college campus.
I ain't trying to hear nothing. Spit
I
something.
can make your lips spread like
no, that's that.
Oh,
what? Are you my falling star? No,
no. But you rise in the east and set in the west.
Say I'm brother to the night.
For those who just came to this show, it's not like that. Trust me.
What, the poetry slams?
Talking about the people that just checked into this live stream. They might have. Like, what did I just walk?
Hey, bro, did he just get inducted into the alphabet community?
Now, y'all hit that like button up to make sure you actually appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we out.